Hello, and welcome to the movie universe. I'm your host, Movie Fan. Today, just in case something went wrong here, hello, and welcome to the movie universe. I'm your host, Movie Fan. Today, I am trying to do the anyway. Today, I'm trying to start. Today, I'm restarting the. I'm sorry, I'm a little frustrated right now. Today, I'm trying to re. Why am I saying that? Today, I'm here to talk about Power Rangers and, of course, the worst seasons that have come around. As promised, I want to do a roundtable discussion on this with everybody who becomes available. Hopefully, we can get a lot of answers. Hopefully, we can find out what is good, what is bad, and most importantly, why. Because, well, as we all know, no show is perfect. And there's always, a bad season. We got our first guest. Say hello to Jonathan the reviewer, everybody.
Hello, it's great to be here.
Yep, it's great to have you here, Jonathan. Hopefully, we can have a few more later today. But until then, let's see. I've already announced what we're here for, and I know you've got a few on your list that aren't exactly the greatest and could actually be the worst.
Yeah, I do have a few things in mind, and those
Mhm.
are, well, in terms of Power Ranger worst seasons, and that would be either like Turbo, Operation Overdrive, probably Samurai and Super Samurai, but I'm gonna have to rewatch it despite that I saw like a few clips of it.
Mhm.
But of course, the biggest ones that I would consider the biggest train wreck of all Power Rangers history, and that happens to be both Megaforce and Super Megaforce. Mostly due to one, it's like they were like trying to be like Mighty Morphin, both character wise and personality wise. And also, and most importantly, it was so we were so looking forward to that legendary battle when we get to see all the Power Rangers from the past in one big epic battle. But
Mhm.
instead, it's more like a total waste of time. 2 minutes of waste.
Yeah, it sure was too, and that's no lie either. That was one of the worst. It's one of the biggest "what were they thinking" kind of moments.
And it makes me feel like that. I wonder that if Hasbro would have released their own version of both Megaforce and Super Megaforce, but this time make it even better.
I don't know. It might be a little too late for that. And besides, remixing, well, didn't always work out. I mean, we are missing one very important person from that episode now. So, yeah, might
Yeah,
not be very likely.
Jason David Frank.
May he rest in peace. But, aside of that notion, I said this and I did say this during my little review on that not too long ago, that, well, he was a shining light in that one because he he had that great little speech. It wasn't very huge, but it was a great speech. Sky's Dub has arrived. Good to see you, bro.
Oh,
And it's okay. Don't worry about it. We can worry about that later. I already came out with a pretty good one, I think. I mean, I just added it, but I like it. I mean, I put I think it was four of the bad ones that we're both aware of, and put a big wall of flames behind it. Because isn't that the truth? I mean, garbage kind of deserves to burn in hell, as far as I'm concerned, especially when it comes to bad seasons.
I know, right?
Yeah, for me, without a doubt, Turbo was one of the worst ones that I had ever encountered. In fact, it was so horrible to me that I actually gave up on Power Rangers until Power Rangers in Space came along. That saved the franchise big time for me, and I'm not the only one to say this. In fact, many people said that Power Rangers in Space really saved the franchise because people were giving up on it. That's how bad it was.
I
And of
know, right?
course, yeah, yeah. And of course, for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, Well, I know I've said this a few times, and the sad thing is it is true. And especially yesterday, I did say this, but I'll repeat it since I had to take that off because what was the point of keeping it? Well, when Lost Galaxy, I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance, but it was pathetic right from the get go. The only good thing was the Magna Defender, and that's not enough to keep me interested. And maybe it was time for me to move on to other things at that time. I'm not sure, but it's kind of like when you watch The Simpsons. You can only watch so much before you decide to change it up because it gets a little stale or something. But in this case, it was just too terrible for me. I couldn't even stand it. That I just flat out quit Power Rangers until Ninja Storm came along.
Hmm.
And
Well,
and ever yeah, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. You go first.
Oh, okay. And ever since then, I've kept in touch, and if there's a season that catches my interest, I stick with it. Like, well, Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder, that was a good season. And I've kept in touch with a few others, like Mystic Force, that was okay. Samurai. Now, truth be told, I actually did kind of like Samurai, but not as much as, the others. I mean, to me, it's not as classic as the others. And it did have some good points, but we'll get into those kind of details later for the debate. I'm just kicking it off as the best I can think of. But yeah. But yeah, either way, I kept in touch, but I never really stuck with it afterwards. People think
Well,
Wild Force? Really?
really? Wild Force?
Hmm.
Well, I would not say it's one of the worst. I would say it's one of the good seasons of Power Rangers, but not one of the greatest because
Yeah, yeah.
there are good things about it and a good origin story to call the Red Wild Horse Ranger, and of course, let's not forget two of my favorite team up crossover episodes.
Yes.
Reinforcements for the Future, where the Wild Force Rangers teaming up with Time Force Rangers, which of course Time Force is one of my absolute favorite, in fact, my favorite season of Power Rangers. And of
Mm.
course, let's not forget the
Oh, yeah.
legendary episode Forever Red.
Yep. At the moment, that is definitely the best anniversary episode out there. We'll wait and see
It,
what happens with the 30th anniversary.
yeah, I'm still waiting for it. I
Looks
mean, this
promising.
crossover is not perfect, but it
No,
is the best. It's
it
still
is.
the best
It
because
is.
let's not forget, we got Jason,
Yeah.
the Red Mighty Morphin Ranger, and Tommy, the Red Zeo Ranger, and of course, other Rangers from the past.
Hmm.
Well, almost, except for Rocky.
Yeah. That was one thing that Jason David Frank brought up was at a Comic-Con once. He asked, I was always wondering how they were going to get him in there, that is if they could. But he had other commitments, so he couldn't do it. But one of these days I might just talk about what they could have done if he was available. But right now, I think we need to go over to the right and acknowledge everybody else who showed up. Professor Dreamer, it's good to see you, buddy. And I'll answer your question in a minute. But see, Jordan Ramsey, it's good to see you, pal. Glad you're here. Let's see. Professor Dreamer, do you think that Power Rangers Megaforce is a Neo Saban Power Rangers? Turbo disguise and a copy of Mighty Morphin. Huh. That does feel about right to me, actually. That's the weird thing about it. It does seem like it's as bad as Turbo and disguised like Mighty Morphin because they're, just going off of, well, what Mighty Morphin was. So,
Yeah. And of course, on the topic of Lost Galaxy, I would not say it's one of the worst, but I would say it's one of the most underrated. I mean, it has a
well,
very interesting villain. It has a really good character like Magna Defender. Yes, I agree. Magna
hmm
Defender is one of the best characters ever. And
yep.
it has a really tragic backstory. And of course, let's not forget the two-parter team-up episode, which happens to be where they team up with the Lost Galaxy Rangers team up with the In Space Rangers and to fight against the Psycho Rangers from the previous season. And
Mm.
this is the first time we get to see a Ranger kind of killed off.
Yeah, that's true. That was a
And
very big
later
deal.
pass the torch to Andros' sister, Corone.
Yep, that's true.
So I would say it's not one of the worst, but I would say one of the most underrated.
Okay, well, that's good. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's see. My bro actually liked Wild Force for having the best villain and their Shadow Rangers. I thought it was a pretty good season. I wasn't into it, but it was pretty good. So yeah, I did have a pretty good villain. Let's
Yeah, it
see.
does.
Yeah, let's see. I'm
And
glad to
again,
have you here.
great team up episodes.
Let's see. Power Rangers Turbo is the black sheep of yeah, it is. Yes, it is. And I will admit it does have at least one good point about it, and that was, the build up towards the end. I'm ashamed to admit this, just because of my hatred of it. I did rewatch some episodes recently because, I've been seeing a lot of comments on how the build up towards the end, which led into space, was, made up for the crappiness that it was when it started. And I got to admit, the ending was pretty darn awesome. They did all right there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also contradicts itself when, we go to space and Dark Spectre says, "I'm putting Astronema in charge, even though you managed to destroy the turbo Zors, the turbo weapons, you destroyed the command center, and you're not good enough to lead this mission." That make any sense to you?
Yeah, probably because that the fans didn't like Diva Talks and they wanted to find a female character more interesting and more tragic. That's why they brought
Yeah.
Astronema.
Yeah, but at the same time, they could have done a better job of telling that,
Yeah. And another good point about Power Rangers Turbo is that we got two of the best characters. One happens to be the Phantom Ranger,
Yep.
which, of course, we don't get a backstory of
Nope.
about the Phantom Ranger.
Never do.
And, of course, the Blue Centurion.
I love
Man,
Blue
these two
Centurion.
Man, these two characters are awesome. I mean, the Phantom Ranger with the power of invisibility, and it does include a romantic relationship between him and Cassie.
Oh yeah,
And of
that's
course,
right.
yeah. And the Blue Centurion. Man,
Yep.
he looks so cool with those police lights,
Hmm.
his weapon, and his Zord that he goes from a police car into a Megazord.
I
That is
know that
so
was awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, he was great. And let's see,
And
Jordan Ramsey says the one Power Ranger season I gave up on for a while was Ninja Steel. Yeah, I could kind of see why. To me, the only thing of interest was the 25th anniversary episode. So I could
well,
kind of
I
see
don't
why.
know about that because I've seen only like a few episodes of only the Super Ninja Steel. But
Yeah.
I'll give it a rewatch. Both Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel because of the 25th anniversary episode, a few episodes that I enjoy, and of course the finale of Super Ninja Steel where not just the villains of Dino Charge Ranger returns, but also, of course, this is a good moment to shine that both Blue Ninja Steel Ranger and Blue Dino Charge Ranger, but because interesting enough, both actors that play both characters, they're actual real brothers.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
Hmm. Now, let's see. My bro says, if memory serves, the Phantom Ranger is actually the son of Zordon. I've heard the theories go around online, but I never found anything to back that up. Let's see. There's an episode where Zordon calls him son. Really? I'm going to have to look that up one of these days.
Hmm.
I mean,
That's really
because I've heard
that
the
really does
theory,
sound
but
interesting.
yeah, I've heard the fan theories, but I've never heard anything to back that up. So I'm curious now. So yeah, bro, if you remember which episode that was, let me know. I definitely
Yeah,
would want
let
to
us
see
know
this.
about that.
Yeah,
I'd
definitely,
like to
definitely.
know who it is.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now I think we got the basic outlook here. So let's all try to. So I think we should all just go with, why these particular seasons were so bad in the first place. Jonathan, you want to start?
Well, for starters, I would say about the Megaforce team, which
Hmm.
I'm glad I did not watch any more of those episodes at
Nope.
all because there's not much development of the characters,
Nope.
mostly the first 5. Of
Ain't it the
course,
truth?
except maybe for Gia, because she later became one of my favorite Yellow Rangers, especially where she used to team up with Jason David Frank. But still, that series is more like trying to be like Mighty Morphin, with no character development, and even their mentor, uh, for excuse
Uh,
me.
oh, okay. We seem to be having a little trouble here. Jonathan, you okay? Um,
I'm sorry, there was something going on.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's one things I like. One of the things I hate about Super Mega Force and Mega Force
Hmm.
is the lack of development of the characters, except trying to be like my Morphin. Even their
Yeah.
mentor Gosei
Oh,
did
yeah.
not do much about Zordon, except
Nope.
only mentioning one time, and that's that.
Yeah, that was pathetic. Let's see. Bro, are you talking about Megaforce and Super Megaforce on the lack of storyline and all that? I've just got to ask because I want to make sure we're on the same page here. But I believe it. I'm pretty sure he is saying that, but just in case. And you know what? Speaking of storyline, there was one thing that one fan actually brought up about that. That it's funny. Nobody ever thought about this. Oh yeah, yeah. He is talking about that because the third one mentioned Zordon, but yet they never met. Yeah, I agree. How could Zordon be his mentor if you never met him? That's the truth. So yeah, inspiration maybe, but mentor no. But anyway, here's the thing: those Power Ranger keys that give them the ability to become Power Rangers from the past. There is literally no explanation as to how they got that in the first place. And, why is it that they have the power to do that, but yet the original Rangers still have their powers?
I
I mean,
know, right?
you think that'd be impossible to do both? Because I remember in a very corny episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers during season 2, the Wild West Rangers, when Kimberly was, accidentally transported into the past, and to put it simply, she went to Zordon of the past to try to get the other power coins to have the ancestors of the Power Rangers help her out as well, Wild West Power Rangers. And you could say what you will about the episode, but anyway, Zordon did clearly state that they couldn't give her both Pink Ranger coins because that would be too much. It's a little hard to explain and I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically it would be catastrophic to give her both Pink Ranger coins. I mean, she's got the one now, and if she uses the one from the past, it could be dangerous. That's about the gist of it. Let's see.
I mean, for this development of for this version of Super Mega Force, the way how Ranger keys made them go into other Rangers from the past, it does sounds like a good idea on paper.
Oh,
But the
sure, yeah.
way but the way it goes, you're right. It
Yeah.
does defy explanation because
Yeah,
I wish they could give us some explanation about how they got the power of turning into any Ranger from the past.
exactly. And that's the truth. And we can definitely rule out the multiverse theory on this one because this was literally still going down the timeline scale. It was after that's when we do the multiverse stuff. So we can definitely rule that out. Let's see. Jordan says it should have been a flashback of Megaforce. Oh, sorry. Of Megaforce of Zordon, there should have been one. But what Zordon would have looked like before he became energy. And I agree. Fortunately, right now we got the comic books for that one.
Interesting. Skystop says when Zordon gave up his own life to destroy his enemies, and heck, I think Lord Zed is revived due to being the counterparts. So in other world, Rita, the Mystic Queen, and it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. To see them
square up and battle it out as her counterparts.
That'd be kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, it does sound like a good idea.
Yeah. Let's see. And yeah, for Megaforce, there's no doubt about it. And I remember somebody once said that they were building too much on the hype of the Legend War. I mean, it's called the Legendary Battle, I know, but to me, it'll always be the Legend War because that's about it. But yeah, the problem was, I mean, you got the Red Ranger having these dreams of this happening in almost every episode. just to build up that hype. And
I
to
know,
make matters,
right?
yeah, and to make matters worse, the Legend War episode, the big anniversary episode we were waiting for, didn't happen on the anniversary. In fact, it happened a year after the anniversary.
Wow.
So that was a real kick in the teeth.
A big letdown, I would say.
Let's see. Professor Dreamer says, what are your thoughts on Sledge from Power Rangers Dino Charge and Keeper as well?
Well, for Sledge, I find him to be an interesting villain. I don't know if he's based on a Sentai counterpart or not, but either way, he could be funny at times, but also kind of threatening, almost like Lord Zed. And by funny, I mean mostly due to his moments with his fiancee and later wife, Poisandra,
Yeah.
which is also another funny character.
Yeah. You know, there is kind of a Lord Zed, Rita Repulsa thing going on between those two.
I
That's
couldn't
for
imagine
sure.
if they both met.
Oh, that would be interesting. I could just picture Rita now talking about, you think you got problems? Try living with a guy with a radiator for a face. He gives me so much grief and all that, you know? Oh,
I know.
boy.
That would be so interesting if Barbara Goodson said that.
That would be awesome. Miss Sledge wasn't my favorite villain, but he did have some good points. And I mean, I did like him. And I'll admit, Jonathan, I did like that whole little, him between his girlfriend and eventual wife there. That was awesome, by the way. I'm sorry. I did like that. I'm a sucker for moments like that.
There were great moments, and it does make me laugh at times. And as for Keeper, he could be a good mentor, almost kind of like Yoda.
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's see.
And I'm impressed with the costume and the animatronic head for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's see. What if Good Zed as Mystic King? Interesting thought, actually. Let's see. My opinion, Keeper is wise as Zordon and know how to defend himself, and I feel Sledge has not shown true. I think you're right about that. He could be just as powerful as Lord Zed, maybe more. I don't know. We weren't given much of an opportunity when what season was that? Beast Morphers, when he was given a brief appearance before he was replaced and destroyed by Goldar Maximus, and that was a very disappointing episode. I don't care what anybody says.
I know, right? It was a disappointment moment, I would say, because I just wish that could have been better if they spare Sledge. And while there's the big team up between the Dino Rangers from the past, and I just wish that it could have been a lot better in terms of the fight sequence. I mean, it's good for what it is, but I just wish it could have been a lot better.
I know. And, either way, I'm sorry, but nobody can replace Kerrigan Mahan's voice. And I don't think they really try to get in contact with him. I really don't. So, yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting, Sky Stuff. Sadly, in Super Sentai, Sledge does not exist in there as well as Lord Zed. Well then, that makes two villains that is not based on a Sentai counterpart.
No, that's true, because Jordan Ramsey said that he was American-made, just like Lord Zed. So, I'm not surprised about that one. Let's see. Let's hope there's a Power Rangers Viking series. Okay, that wouldn't be poorly executed or butchered. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting if they ever came up with that. But I don't know how much. I don't know how they could pull that off, really.
Imagine the Zords could be Viking ships.
That'd be interesting. Well, anyway, let's see. Let's move on from there. I think we pretty much covered just about everything that was bad about the Megaforce. And, let's see. For Megaforce, yeah, no doubt. Terrible. Definitely terrible. With the worst anniversary season ever. Oh, and I got to say this again. I cannot talk about Megaforce without talking about the scene that Saban just did not include, and that would be the Megazord War. The Megazord War from Super Sentai, where all the Megazords of the past are fighting a big monster and other monsters. Come on!
I know, right?
Awesome.
I know, right?
I
I mean,
cannot believe that Saban thought, no, I won't do that. Oh my God. He thought
I know,
fighting
right?
putties was more important. I know they weren't putties, but they'll always be putties to me because that's where it all started, you know?
And
Ugh.
fighting against putties, it's not enough.
No.
I mean,
Especially
I look.
since, especially
I'm
since,
sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. Especially since they focused way too much on the Megaforce Rangers and not so much on the other Rangers who came to help. And that's the truth. Because
I
in
know.
Super Sentai, you see everyone equally. Now, granted, there were seasons that they couldn't do from the 1970s because, we didn't adopt that. So, sure, fair enough. But, they could have worked around that. They could have shown so much more. They could have shown a lot more of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, especially. And I could understand why they would not have White Ranger in there because we have not been introduced to the Master Morpher yet. So that makes sense. But, you know, either way, it was like, oh my God, they such a great moment wasted and destroyed.
And you know what? I absolutely agree with you 100% because not only that I can tell the difference between the Megaforce version and the Super Sentai counterpart,
Mm-hmm.
but of course I've seen the two-part version, the
Oh,
fan version.
wait a minute. I'm sorry. We got another contestant here.
What up?
Say
What up?
hello.
What's
Hey,
going on?
DHR. Glad you're here.
Hey,
What's
That's
going
going
on,
pretty
y'all?
good. That's going pretty good, man. Glad to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. I just got finished recording a video of one of the most disturbing yet disgusting stories coming out of New York Post.
Oh no.
I don't know if y'all know the story though, because I was absolutely disgusted when I did the video. Two gay adopted fathers.
Yeah.
They did the unthinkable, and they're from the LGBT community. So
Mm-hmm.
the article was enough for me to even hate every organization that comes with it. And to me, I don't have no problem with gay people though, because I got some friends like that are gay. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
know
wish
the
the
feeling,
real
man.
world to them. But
Sure.
it's something about the LGBT community that can sometimes take two steps backwards.
Yeah.
And so this article I was reading, it was talking about how these two molested two autistic adopted sons from
Oh
them.
God.
Check this out though. It turns out that once they adopted the two sons, that's where the nightmare started. And according to the text, it also stated that even though they molested the kids, they forced them to perform oral sex on them.
Oh Jesus.
Sexual acts on the adult from a child.
Oh, that's
And
horrible.
one of them was producing child pornography.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, it was so bad to the point where I just went off when I was doing this story.
I don't blame you, man. I really don't. That's
Because
horrible.
as an uncle, I got nieces and nephews that I think about every day. The last
I
thing I
hear
want
you.
to think about is anybody doing the unthinkable to them.
I hear you.
This article it's gross.
I hear you, man. I'm an uncle myself, so I know exactly what you mean. It's
Yeah.
horrible. Oh my God. Yeah. Jeez. Oh man. I don't. Okay. Yeah, I understand, man. And you got to do what you got to do to speak it up. And the more that anybody speaks about some stuff like this, who knows? Maybe we could make the world a better place in one way or another. Hopefully. So, because this
Yeah, I
stuff
know.
should be ignored.
And check this out though.
Hmm.
Even though they pleaded not guilty, they're now facing 9 life sentences if convicted.
Wow.
They need to, you know what I'm saying? 9 life sentences should be deserved. You put these kids through the ringer, and what scares me is that when they grow up, they're gonna end up doing some certain stuff that they shouldn't be doing to other kids. And even when they try to get into a relationship and they try to do some stuff to like some adults when they get older,
Jeez.
and all because of what happened to them when they were young, and when they get older, it's gonna get a whole lot worse.
Oh yeah, it's how it always goes too. I've seen it.
It sucks, man, and that's why they got these kids on TikTok doing some stuff that they got no business doing. I mean, what do you think goes on behind closed doors? What do you think that goes on at the home?
Oh no.
That would this should explain everything, right?
Yeah, it would. I mean, it's not unheard of for kids who are abuse victims to end up doing exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
Oh
And
man, sheesh. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I just don't understand, bro.
I'm gonna quote. I'm gonna quote something that Alucard from Helsing said on the miniseries. I will never understand humans, and that's the truth. Yeah, I'm human, and I'll never understand that. So yeah,
no,
yeah. But anyway,
I just don't know.
Yeah, I know, man. And anyway, it's good to have you here. I don't know
No,
how.
appreciate it, man. I know. You've been begging me to come on your show forever, though, man. Because I've been so busy with stuff.
I know.
But here I am, though. But I have time, though.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that thing is, when you do your stream talking about Super Mega Force and all that crap, though.
Yeah.
I had to jump in
that's what we're talking about.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah,
because that season alone was enough for me to even despise it. The first episode of Super Mega Force, I thought it was cool. They upgraded their powers. It started off strong, but then once the rest of the episodes played out, it became a giant pile of dog crap.
Yeah, totally.
All because of Saban.
Yeah.
It's like that guy just cannot let go of Mighty Morphin nostalgia.
Yeah. Neither can I, but the problem is he's the
producer.
So
I know that, but I'm talking about him, though, in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it's more like trying to copy Mighty Morphin, except with no development of the characters. And, of course, one time Zordon's been mentioned, but the rest, none.
That's the one thing I don't understand, though, when they brought up Zordon and Megaforce, the first episode. When I saw this, like, a long time ago, how you go to name Zordon in the first episode when there's no footage of you talking to Zordon?
Yeah, I know.
Who wrote that? Red flag.
Yeah, and when I did a video talking about how they acknowledged Zordon in what was that episode where
the
one where Lord Zed returned?
About Lord Zed came back?
Yeah, that's the one. Old Foes, that's what it was. When they mentioned Zordon and showed footage of him and all that, of course I had to acknowledge that when I reviewed that episode. But one bozo actually went on there and said, but Gosei mentioned him, and that doesn't even count. That's really
that was like it was a bomb doodoo.
Yeah.
At least Hasbro did right, though. Did something that Neil Saban couldn't do.
Yeah, exactly. And, I don't know. I got to ask you this, DHR. What was your take on the Legend War?
Trash.
Total.
Because
I would rather watch Hunter Killer 1440's version of
that was perfect.
The Super Mega Force Legendary Battle.
Totally. I gotta check that out.
Oh, I could send you the link for that one.
Yeah, please do that so I can
You're gonna love that one. It is the best version of that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you via the Discord.
All right, cool. But yeah, man, that Super Mega Force finale was so bad. Like they did not do one daggone development for each of the returning Rangers. They were just there. Damon, Carone, Carter, Dana, TJ, Cassidy. I mean, at least they did something with Casey in that one episode. But you couldn't do any developments with the returning Rangers from the past, along with the Super Mega Force Rangers. That was one of the worst ratings I've seen.
Yeah, totally.
And so even the finale, they showed the extended version. Even that couldn't save the travesty you call finale.
No, definitely not. And with Super Sentai, and I'm sorry, folks, I got to bring this up again, but with Super Sentai, they had that Megazord battle, and Saban thought it wasn't important.
Oh yeah, even that was better than what America gave us.
Yeah, well, that was just totally awesome, just because of how they did it and all that. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Saban, he let everybody down with that one. Because I watched the Super Sentai version first, because that came out earlier, and I couldn't help but think, "Oh man, that's what's going to happen here," and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Real letdown.
Again, waste of opportunity.
Plenty of waste opportunities there, for real.
Yeah, and no explanation as to those Power Ranger keys and how they got them. And why is it that they're able to have those powers, yet the original Rangers still had their powers?
That was so dumb to me, because they could have at least went out with a bang and fought any new monster from Kokaicher and have them lose the Megaforce powers and just have Gosei give them Super Megaforce powers with the keys. You don't need
that
to
could have been a
go
little
from
better.
Megaforce
Almost
to
similar
Megaforce.
to that could have been a little better. Almost similar to Ninja Quest.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. That would have made sense.
Yeah.
Again, good idea on a piece of paper, but execution-wise, I cannot believe it. No explanation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No,
just like what happened with Turbo movie.
Oh God! Don't even bring that up.
Yeah, we'll save that for another day, man.
I would consider
that's one for another day. Because we're talking about the TV shows, not the movies. And you know, I'm just going to come out and say this: we all know what the best movie was. 1995, all the way. That's for sure.
Yeah. Guess what though? The 95 movie may not be perfect, but at least it has action. Unlike the Turbo movie, because it was just straight up boring.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it was. Exactly. And, you know, I mean, what was this whole gag of going into the Bermuda Triangle on a pirate ship? Really?
Made no sense.
And the fact that Zordon, he had the turbo powers all the time. He just didn't give it to him for no reason.
Bad writing.
Yeah, very bad writing.
And for one thing, and what was the point of them having Austin St. John and Amy Jo Johnson back in the movie in the first place, just to get wasted, of them drowning with Bulk and scolding them? That made no sense. What was the point of them doing that?
I don't know.
It's great to see them coming back, but I just wish they could have made it a lot better.
Yeah, and get this. Supposedly, Austin St. John himself said that, you know, in order for him to come back, well, they wanted him to come back and they begged him to be a part of it. And he said, sure, I'll do it if I get to play the villain. So that whole turning evil thing was apparently his idea.
And that was garbage. I'm sorry. I hated it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since they were supposed to be sacrificed. In the words of Aslan the lion, if the witch knew the true meaning of sacrifice, she might have interpreted it differently.
Woo!
I mean, seriously. Yeah.
Again, execution-wise, wasted.
Yeah.
Waste of opportunity.
It did have one good thing, though, and that would be the Turbo Megazord. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Turbo Megazord was pretty cool, though. At least they did right, you know, having a guy in a costume in it this time.
Yep, they did.
Oh, I agree.
Totally.
Yeah, that's probably the best of it, which they could have done in the 95 movie, because it was just all crappy CGI that looked like it was made of like ice.
Yeah, I can't deny that truth. But to be fair, back then to get real quality CGI like Jurassic Park worthy, that was a lot of money and a lot of time to do.
Yeah,
so,
like real effort. I like the Power Rangers stuff.
Yeah, and I found an explanation as to why they were so shiny. I saw this on a video once with these CGI, these guys who do CGI for Hollywood, comparing CGI then and now. I can't seem to find that video anymore. I don't know why, but they've compared the 2017 movie, I know, let's not go there, to the 1995 movie. And they said that the reason why they were so shiny in the 95 film was because it's a lot easier to do, apparently, back then.
That's very lazy, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't even do that now, though.
Well, no, not now. I guess back then it was just a simple cutting corners thing because, you know, Saban, he's cheap, and Fox, they had a, you know, fairly limited budget. I mean, I give them credit for what they did. They used a little bit of everything in that film. A little bit of CGI, obviously, practical effects, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, the practical effects, with especially when them finding the dinosaur bones.
Oh, that I
I
love
thought
that.
that was pretty neat, though. I like
Oh
that a lot.
yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, I love that
Especially
scene.
that is made of puppets.
I
Yeah,
know, I
and
love
them
that.
use finding the them things.
Oh, the Guardians, the Rock Guardians.
Yeah, the Rock Guardians. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
the
that a
Rock
lot. More.
Guardians.
I love those guys. I love that.
It's way better than the Usman. Oh, check
Well,
this out though. I think a few years ago when I was on like Instagram and Twitter, and I saw an image of a putty that was going to be in the movie that
oh,
should have
really?
been in the movie,
Oh,
but they
man.
got replaced by the Usman, which is I'm not a fan of. I think
Hmm.
the putties would have looked good in a big budget film, and they
Okay.
could have used the Thunder Swords too. But
Oh,
them
that would have been
using
awesome.
Ninja Swords in the movie,
Hmm.
that made no connections to the TV show.
No, it didn't. I think
I'm
that's one of
serious.
the
It would have been a
reasons.
lot better.
That is one of the reasons why they stuck. Why why the TV show, in a way, they retell it only with Ninjor,
Yeah.
because it makes
Yeah,
a
it
better
makes sense
connection.
because to try to make it seem like it's like Cocker Ranger though. The movie tried, but it didn't.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
of course, I'm still not gonna forget that there is a time that when we fans wanted to see that, including me, that what if Dulcea and Ninjor met
Oh my
in the
god, that
same
would have been
universe,
crazy.
and
That would
that
have been
happens to
awesome.
be, but it did
that-
happen, and that happens to be in the fan comic series Power Rangers: A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think I heard something about that before the like I haven't watched it on YouTube. People doing like reviews stuff like the fan issues though. But it's
Well,
something.
the thing
Yeah.
is that it's a fan-made comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah. But imagine
And
Boom Studios
highly
doing it.
recommend you to check it
Oh, that
out.
would have been cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Boom,
Boom Studios would have made so
Studios
much
should
good stuff.
adopt it.
Yeah. And
Oh,
speaking
yeah.
of which, I saw the new image of their Ninja Turtles crossover one.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah, I
can't wait.
love
I
it.
can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that.
Me
I want to
too.
see that because they become their dinosaur mastodon. Oh my! I gotta
Yes.
see that. I gotta see that definitely.
And
For
not
I
one,
only
watched a
that,
video on
I
that
wanted to
too.
see that comic be turned into an anime movie.
I was
that
just saying that, bro. You took the words out of my mouth. I was
I
just
would
saying that
lose
too,
it.
though.
I would so lose it if that happened. Do
Yeah, I
both
want to
the
see them
first
come
one
turn
and
into like
that
a
one.
Netflix series.
Yeah,
I'm calling
definitely.
it right now. If Hasbro and Netflix got together once again to produce a Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover, I'm game. Sign
I'm
me
with
up.
it. I know I'm with it. Definitely.
Whew.
That would be so
Oh,
incredible.
definitely. And this time, bring Amy Jo Johnson back.
Yeah.
Well,
Forget about the money. Just be there for the fans.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Amy,
Hmm.
she keeps tweeting certain things about Power Rangers that one minute she likes it, and then the next she's talking about saying how she hates it. Then
Yeah. I've been
if you
catching
watch my video when I was talking about it,
Yeah.
I don't know if she's capping, if she's saying that I didn't say no and I didn't say yes to what was offered to me. But then she
Yeah.
says she's gonna watch her friends kick butt in the 30th anniversary special. Either you gonna be in the anniversary or you didn't. Is it a yes or no?
Yeah, I saw that too.
I think she's capping, bro.
Yeah, it looks that way. I don't know.
I don't
I
know
just don't know.
why.
You're a trip.
I mean, she's always been trying to separate herself from Power Rangers, but still, that's what everybody remembers her the most.
Especially that last year he did direct an episode of Superman and Lois.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, anyway, I think we got a little far afield here, folks.
That was
Sorry
all
about that.
good though, because we got passionate. That's what we do.
That's
we do
true.
the same thing in
That's
Sunday
true.
school.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's we'll just get back to the tracker. Sorry.
Yeah,
folks.
man, let's do that.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah. Let's see. Megaforce definitely bad. Well, DHR, why don't you start with one that you know is bad? I mean, we already covered Megaforce.
Super Ninja Steel.
Hmm.
Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel are a stinker. And let me tell you why. They in the beginning of season 1 of Ninja Steel, they did the exact same thing what Dino Charge did when they became Rangers for the first time. They zoom in on their helmets. Like, why would you repeat the same cycle?
Yeah,
Then
I see what you
in
mean.
the second episode, they did the exact same thing when 2 new people came in and they became Rangers the same way Dino Charge did when Coda, Shelby, Chase, and Riley became Rangers.
Oh, brother.
In the second episode, Ninja Steel did the exact same thing. Then the rest of the episode and the rest of the season became a throwaway season. It made no sense. No high stakes, no unwanted fights. It did not feel like a ninja season. And I don't know if I could call a moment when not Ion, but Levi, when he realized that he was used by the villain or Galvanax or whatever you call his name.
Hmm.
Him and his brother finally, hug it out. They start singing music together and stuff.
Oh,
But
jeez.
the rest of the season was terrible. Even the second season was even worse. Even the Dimensions in Danger episode, that was about Tommy, not the whole team.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though I enjoyed it though, but it still
I
should
like
have been
it,
the
but
whole team, not
yeah,
just
it's
the
true.
Tommy one show. But then once a good thing from Super Ninja Steel went on, it got worse after the special.
Oh,
Even the
jeez.
finale made no sense.
Well, I
Even the
enjoy
Christmas
those two
special was
team up
even worse.
episodes from Super Ninja Steel for what it is, despite for a few hiccups. Again, I enjoyed it, especially. Let's not forget about the finale of Super Ninja Steel, where Koda and Preston fight together against Sledge. Because interesting, you must know. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The actors that play those 2 Rangers in blue, they were actually real life brothers.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was cool seeing them fight together though, but still, I
Yeah,
just felt like the way it was executed, um, it just didn't fit well with me.
yeah, I
Ninja
can see
Steel
what
did not feel like a ninja season, and I've always said this: if you're gonna make a TV show, make sure it feels important. Ninja,
definitely.
Ninja Steel did not feel as important as it should have been. Ninja Storm felt like an actual ninja season.
Oh, yeah, it did.
They did everything ninja tricks, martial arts fights,
Yep.
underwater fights, and the fight scenes felt intense and serious. Ninja Steel had none of that. It was, like I said, I called Ninja Steel a throwaway season because it was a throwaway season. Like, it had some ideas, but the way it was executed, it a mess. Like, I don't like this season.
Hmm.
And I know it's not the actors and actresses' fault.
No,
I
of
blame
course.
the writers and I blame Sabar.
Yeah, definitely.
That's who I blame for real.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll
I'm
admit,
gonna have to rewatch not just Super Ninja Steel, but the first Ninja Steel series just to see how it goes because I've only seen like a few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And with all honesty, I never watched Ninja Steel. It didn't catch my interest. I don't know why.
Same.
And that was before I even saw anything. I watched
Yeah.
Dimensions in Danger only because anniversary episode, and Tommy is
Yeah.
my favorite Power Ranger of all time.
And
But
of
Same with
course,
me.
Rocky's return.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Rocky
here's
did.
the thing though, I did the exact same thing. And I did not watch the entire Ninja Steel season 1 and season 2 because once it came on every single Saturday, I was busy focusing on my own life and my other content on YouTube. I did not care less about Ninja Steel or the new episode because it was nothing.
Mm.
I can't take it seriously if it's not called Ninja. The
Yeah.
same thing with Mask Man, the Sentai from 1987. The
Mm.
show that the Sentai that was supposed to be based on martial arts, and it did not feel like a martial arts thing.
Oh dear.
It barely did anything martial arts. I like the costumes though,
Well,
but the plot and the show, it was too much focus on the Red Ranger in that season instead of the entire team. You know, here's the thing about Masked Man. The difference between Masked Man and Ninja Steel is that both shows had unique issues. They both struggled with development for certain characters. They both struggled to stay focused on the main plot, and they both had trouble of finding its place in one show. Because when you think about it, the writing was all over the place. I don't know if it's supposed to be about martial arts or ninjas. That's basically how I feel about certain seasons that shouldn't be made in the first place. So that's just my take on the whole thing.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me. I mean, yeah, because, you know, we all know that when everybody writes a novel, a video game, a series, a movie, you know, it's got to have purpose. It can't just be just throwing random crap together and just call it that. I mean, that's how you get bad movies, and there's plenty of them to go around for that one that have that title. But yeah, definitely. And speaking of some bad writing and some overuse of anything, really, I think now would be a good time to move on to, Jonathan, one of your favorites, Operation Overdrive.
Oh, no. Oh, in terms of worse?
That's right.
I would say Operation Overdrive. It is one series that I would not even dare watch.
No, just once a Ranger. That's about it.
And the words of Linkara
episode is not the saving grace.
No, it isn't. What were you going to say, Dieter?
I was going to say, in the words of Linkara, shut up, Dax.
That's one totally. That review by Linkara is what makes me think that, you know what? I'm not going to watch this series.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new one. Kamen Rider. Good to see you, man.
My favorite clip from his review of that season is when he was talking about Mac with the Cynthia. Now I can't even talk. Mac with the Cynthia
Red Ranger.
Yeah, and Linkard just he just went off, and I was laughing my butt off when he ranted like crazy about how Mac destroyed the monster with the sword, while the old school Rangers return and use their the Overdrive Ranger Zords to fight the monster. But Mac, he came in and he destroyed the monster, and Linkard just went off, and that was one of the best moments of that review. Like, I was in there just cracking up, tearing up, laughing. For him to do that, I was like, yes, get it out, bro. I feel your frustrations. I know. Like, it was so funny looking back at it now. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
My God, and, what a worst opportunity to make.
Yeah, and I got to acknowledge with Overdrive, it has one big thing going for it, and that's the one. Well, and I don't mean that in a good way either. And I mean just the fact that they keep using the explosion machine like crazy, religiously. There's explosions right behind them all the time. Drives me nuts.
And you notice that in Dino Thunder 2 a little bit when Cal Explosions was just going crazy. Yeah. SVP had a whole rack of them too.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not even watching a martial arts TV show that's based on the Sentai. Sentai had plenty of reasons to use Cal Explosions, but with the way Power Rangers do it, I feel like you're just wasting a lot of money of using Cal Explosions. That's like, in the WWE when you got Brock Lesnar, that costs people millions of dollars of using pyro that they stopped using years ago because of that. And now that they brought back the pyros for certain wrestlers, they're free to do whatever they want. But in terms of Operation Overdrive and SPD, like, they famous for doing a whole rack of Cal Explosions for no apparent reason. Every time they get blast, explosion. Exactly. When they fight, explosion. I'm like, good grief. Does anything have to be explosive? Good grief.
Yeah, and explosions can be awesome when they're used properly. We all know that. And
I agree.
and yeah, I mean, granted, I know of one movie that uses explosions like crazy, and that would be the Super Inframan. I mean, every time he kicks or hits something, it almost explodes most of the time. But that was the 1970s, and that was just the way the Shaw brothers did their martial arts back in the day. Well, correction, that would be the first time the Chinese ever tried making a superhero movie. And as far as I know, I think that was the only one. I could be wrong about that, though. But yeah, I mean, it was an experimental thing. So, I give him credit for trying. But to just do it for no reason, like Overdrive does, I mean, explosions are constantly behind them, and they're always, flying forward all the time, like the Grinch when the car blew up and all that. I mean, I can't help but feel that Michael Bay might have directed this series. I'm sure he didn't.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you
Yeah.
imagine him directing Power Rangers? It would have been one of the worst things to ever happen to the franchise.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, I know a lot of people who criticized his take on the Transformers movies, and especially the way he overuses the explosion machine in most of his pictures. At least he's done for the past 10 or so years. That's why people criticize him so much. He just loves to make things blow up for no reason.
Yeah. Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Bad Boys.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Him doing Power Rangers. Oh, you can never imagine how scary that would be.
Oh, gee. And Ninja Turtles, I wouldn't even touch that. I didn't even watch it because I saw clips. I wanted to throw up. I'm not kidding. I mean, my sister's kids even asked me if I would watch it with them, and I flat out refused. I probably hurt their feelings. I hate to say when I'd said it, but I couldn't stand the idea. I mean, Master Splinter was pathetic. And I'm sorry, the Shredder, he was not the main villain in the story. He really wasn't. It was that other guy. He was merely a puppet. That's what he was.
No, he was worse in the sequel, even though they got the costume right.
Yeah.
But in the first movie, he just looked like
he was overdone.
Forks and knives you see out of Target.
Yeah. Yeah. And not to mention the knives magnetically come back. Come on.
Lord,
that's Transformers. And I'm being real nice about that too. So, I mean,
well, really. I can agree. Imagine if Michael Bay does an adaptation of Power Rangers Operation Overdrive.
Oh man, ugh, I don't want to think about that. And like I said, man, I swear he may have either been part of that or inspired the director or something. I don't know. Ugh. Oh, wait a minute. Skystub says, remember the famous annoying words from Divatox saying, it's torpedoes time? Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Divatox, she is the worst villain I've ever come across.
Yeah. Hey, look, hey, check this out. One thing I like about her, she had cakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get real, man. That's the only thing that was good about her. We all know, right. Especially in the movie. Let's get real. I mean, even the nostalgia critic made a good joke out of that one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you saw that, huh?
Yeah, I saw that. Like I was dying when I saw it though.
That was funny. I mean, the budget went towards Johnny Youngbush's hair products and Divatox's cleavage.
Oh man,
I love that line. I know they're just saying that, but
hey Mo.
Still, I can believe it at this point.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
And what I don't understand about Divatox, right? How you gonna bring a villain to a TV show and don't make her an iconic one? But you just made her into a joke, even in Turbo, when you have her working inside a pizza restaurant. And all because you chose to adapt a satire episode from Car Ranger where they get baked to pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I can tell the pizza don't even look good, to be honest with you.
Oh no.
I know it's the 90s though, but look, they ain't put enough salt in that.
Yeah, I know. And there was one thing that always drove me nuts during the first half of that. I mean, I think it was roughly, well, I think this ended when they changed up with TJ and the rest of them. But beforehand, every episode, she was constantly planting bombs. That got really old really fast, especially when every time they always said it like this. a detonator. She planted a detonator. A detonator. A detonator. Oh my god.
Oh my god, she cannot stop saying it.
Oh, it's not necessarily her saying
Man.
it. It's the Power Rangers themselves saying it, especially Justin. Almost every episode, a detonator. And she's constantly just planting these bombs. It's like, what are you, a roadside terrorist? Good thing this didn't come around during 2001.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Because I think a lot of people would have thought, you're making fun of our war in Iraq now. That's what they would have thought. So good thing this was earlier.
Nah, the first time Turbo was really bad. Even the movie was.
Yeah.
The only thing I like about Turbo was when they brought in the new actors, though, which made the series a bit better.
Yeah.
Even if they had some of the worst episodes, at least TJ and them made it more watchable because of Chip Land when he came in and just turned it completely around.
That's
all
true.
the way to In Space, which saved the franchise.
Yeah, Space did save the franchise.
Most definitely.
I know, right?
And I did recently, and I don't know if you caught this earlier, DHR, I did mention that I did recently rewatch some of the episodes, especially the later part of the season, and the build-up towards that was great, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot better than it was.
Yeah, the ending.
I wish they
saw
would
a clip
have cut
on
out.
Facebook, too.
Yeah. I wish they would have cut out with the blooper reels at the end, though. That got pretty old after Zeo, so.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I think the bloopers were there for a good time, though. I mean, I didn't really matter, though.
That's true. That's true. I don't know.
Oh yeah, if you something I want to mention, if you see the Once and Always trailer, the behind the scenes,
I have
the images you saw of the Rangers inside of Rita's palace. You can tell, like, you saw some Lightning Collection figures in the background, and I caught certain glimpse of it.
Like, I heard of it.
I don't know if y'all saw on the bottom left. If you look closely, you can tell they're doing a red Turbo Ranger figure.
I don't.
That's what I noticed. That
I'll have to look at that again. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because once you look that up, man, I think you're gonna. No, I think once you find the images, you look closely, it's there. Donald Thunder,
try to find it.
White, Lost Galaxy Green. I believe Beast Morphers.
Cool.
Ventures or something like that. Like, I saw a little bit of this and that I recognize from the Lightning Collection wave. And you know what? I hope to God that this reunion special is not a 20-minute episode thing, because that would be too short. If you're gonna do it, do a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I hope this whole thing is like a 40-minute thing, like a 40-minute episode, because I want everything to be explained well. About them doing a tribute to JDF and 3 Train.
Yeah,
explaining to men of how her mother was a great ranger and a great friend, and Tommy Oliver being a great ranger and a great friend as well.
Yeah.
And once you finish showing her the clips of them in battle in the past, in the 90s, all the way up to now, then you can give men her mother's power morpher to become the new Yellow Ranger. I want to see men fulfill her mother's legacy.
Same thing I like to see how.
Yeah.
Same thing I like to see in terms of relation to Tommy Oliver.
Yeah.
Like his daughter, Jenna Frank. I like to see her having the Master Morpher to become the new Green and White Mighty Morphin Ranger, Red Zeo, and Black Dino Thunder.
That would probably be for a later episode, I would think. Down the road, maybe. And that's a big maybe at this point.
But to me, I don't think. Here's the thing about Jennifer. I don't see her as a Power Ranger because right now she's doing music and stuff.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she a rapper. She did like a couple of songs, and to be honest with you, I don't even like her music.
Well, I'll take your word for it. I gave up on modern music because it became a bunch of garbage in general.
Yeah, because all they do is rap about the same stuff, same music, same beat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they keep it on the same playing level too, and it's where's the fun in that? Music's supposed to be experimental.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes it good.
Yeah, I mean, I try to get into some new stuff. I mean, I like some of them, but the rest of it just sounds kind of dumb and it don't make sense. Take the Migos for example. Like
Oh,
you heard of the Migos?
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the members, he died last year from I think over a dice game in Houston.
Hmm. Sheesh.
So I guess you could say that you know a lot of modern music or it's just mumble rap. They just mumble and they just don't even want to rap about anything. And so I tried listening to some of Jenna Frank's music. It's alright though, but it's not like you know it just feels undone to be honest with you. Then I'm listening
Yeah.
to Sky Frank, JDF's uh daughter, other daughter.
Oh,
I think her,
yeah.
yeah, her music is it's the same thing,
Oh,
but
jeez.
at the same time,
Hmm.
I think what she needs to do is step away from the auto tune for a minute
That would
and
help.
just focus on her vocals in terms of rapping and stuff. Now I know a lot of people use auto tune for certain like SoundCloud music and all that. That's fine
Sure.
and everything, but if you want to use your natural talent, try to step away from the auto tune. Like you got something natural, show it. So
Yeah.
that's basically what I would do. And I don't
Yeah.
know if you
Totally.
noticed though, Sky has beef with Tammy and Jenna
Hmm.
because of what went down with JDF and his estranged wife claimed that he cheated on her and all that bull crap, serving
Yeah.
his papers at a con just to embarrass him and all of that. Um, Listen, JDF has you know I think what most of y'all don't know about the guy in real life is that I found out like a few days ago that he used to drink like crazy. That he was like a few days sober,
Hmm.
just a few days clean. He hasn't touched one alcohol because of how he used to live his life. Um, like how you're in the industry and you feel like your life is about to spiral out of control. You turn to boobs,
Oh,
what
yeah.
booze and drugs, try to cope with the pain, but it ended up doing you no good. And so you have to say to yourself, what's the point of you drinking and smoking while you're in pain if it's gonna make things worse? You're gonna end up in the hospital or under 6 feet. And so you have to come to that mind and that decision to just take control of your life and try to get better. And so that's what JDF did, and I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
But in terms of him being in a toxic marriage with Tammy, because we know what's going on now because of the divorce papers being served at a con, of him and his wife being in a separate rooms of the hotel leading up to his suicide
Yep.
because of what was going on. And I think there's more to the story of what happened behind closed doors that a lot of people don't know.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Because when it comes to Sky Frank, Jason's other daughter, the world didn't know that he has other kids before he met Tammy and had Jenna.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, and so what I found out is that Tammy did not invite Sky and her brother to the funeral because of what happened. And if you watch that interview, you'll know just how toxic that woman is.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw Tammy years ago in that reality show, My Morphin Life, I knew from the get go that something was very fishy about her, the way her personality is, and the way how she talks. On camera, they seem like cool, happy couple, happy life, happy life.
Hmm.
That's not the case off camera, behind closed doors, because certain things could happen in the dark. that can always come to light.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And so what happened was the fact that Sky is just telling us everything about her beef with Tammy and everybody. She was never nice to uh Sky's brother. She's seen it with her own eyes. But at the same time, when it comes to JDF and his life, now we know what's going on. Excuse me. I just think
Yeah.
that when it comes to Tammy, she needs to own up some accountability because I don't think. Now, listen. Here's the thing about modern women nowadays, right?
Mm.
I notice that every time when I go on social media and I see a bunch of articles and all of that, and I see nothing but them talking about how I did this, I did that, I had a reason to do it, but you know you did wrong in the first place, but you wouldn't take no accountability. You wouldn't take responsibilities for your wrongdoings, but you want to blame others for your mess. And so I feel like when it comes to Tammy and Jay's thing with Frank, you know, I think Tammy knew what was going on. I think there's so much story that we don't know until Sky Frank, because she's the one that is coming out with evidence. Like she's coming out with receipts, text messages, voice messages, like videos of her telling the stories.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Like so much going on with the Frank family, and he's probably looking down at these people like, what the hell is wrong with these people though? Especially Tammy. And I know why he killed himself, because he wanted to get away from her. That's how you know toxic relationships are the worst. And that's why I've always said in my videos, don't get married unless you find the right person.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you can think about putting a ring on it, but if it's somebody who has all them tattoos and all of that, and they look crazy, run for the hills, run for your life. It's not worth. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth losing your life over something that don't make sense.
No, and you know what, man? I mean, I don't know if you ever caught my live stream on that. My brother died the exact exactly the same way. It was because of his wife.
Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why this one this one's cut like a knife even worse. On my live stream, I was in tears. Jonathan, you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I know what it's like exactly to lose someone that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, and the sad thing is, he could have gotten help, and supposedly he tried to reach out to a friend, but he couldn't get a hold of him.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but his friend, his one friend, did say he did send him a message, but he didn't see it in time, or he was busy or something. I don't know which, but
You talking about Jason or your brother?
Oh no, I'm talking about Jason.
Oh, okay.
For my brother, well, the sad thing is, and this one really hurts the most. I was talking to him earlier that night before he did it, and he was a martial arts fanatic, just like Jason or Frank was. I mean, he taught me. Oh yeah, Bruce Lee was his idol, and he had so much in common with him. It was just unbelievable. And we were talking about the possibility of getting back on the martial arts kick again because things got in the way. I got away from it for a little bit, and we were talking about trying to get up with it. And he sounded like he was down, and I couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. And then later that night, it happened. So, yeah.
Man, just hearing this, man, it really makes me think about how we need to be grateful for what we have in life, because it's too many people losing their lives over situations that happen to them, over trauma, and them not getting the professional help they need. People are not understanding them of what they've been through. because anytime when a man goes through a certain point in his life to the point where deleting himself is the only option of getting rid of that pain, which does not do you any good.
No, it doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't.
I can confirm that.
When I see a lot of men on social media crying for help, all I gotta do is just hug them from a distance.
Sure.
And to tell them I love them and I pray for them, because there was a clip of Vivica Fox TV show she did, I think 6 years ago. And I blame the mother of this because it's the mom's fault, because she forced her son to grow up fast.
Oh yeah, that old
because
story.
he was smoking, drinking, and doing things that no teenager should do, all because the mom brought bottles of alcohol every day and having her son smoke. Here's the thing: when a parent does certain things that a child's going to end up picking up those same habits once they get older. And you have no mind to blame but yourself, because what you're doing as a parent, that you should have been a better role model. But what the mom did was she got on TV and tried to justify her actions and made it seem like she had no problem of buying alcohol and like weed or whatever though. And once the son picks up that same habits, he begins to become depressed, thoughts of suicide, and just being a sad individual because of the mother's actions. And you want to know what these women did? They decided to, instead of try to help him and understand his pain, they decided to interrogate him as if his pain didn't matter. And when I saw that clip, I was beyond pissed off. I was beyond enraged, because this is a teenage man or a young man that is going through a midlife crisis because of the mom. And these women decided to just call him out for his behavior. I'm talking about something. Oh, you got some twisted fancy. I'm like, first of all, there's no twisted whatever it is that he's saying. If the man is going through something, at least you could do is just try to understand what he's coming from. So instead of you blaming him, why don't you blame the mom? The mom should be taking all accountability for what happened. Don't decide to interrogate that child because of the trauma he's been through from the home. And what you're doing is that you're just judging him. And so even Vivica Fox got called out, and of course she doubled down on what happened a few years ago. And she don't like criticism, for one thing. When somebody calls her out, she gets all iffy about it. Because and this is coming from the same woman who celebrated the fact that Kevin Samuels died, I believe last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, I think it was like someone around last year, I believe. If you don't know who Kevin Samuels is, he is a man who helps out men of all color, and he helps women out in all colors. But at the same time, if he sees you on your bull crap, he will call you out on it, try to hold you accountable. But mostly women, modern women, because they be coming on his show and he tries to explain to them about their wrongdoings. They get defensive, they get mad, and they get upset. Because when he's pointing out facts, all of a sudden they get real defensive. And they try to act like he's stupid. Like, man, let the man smart. And you see, when a person try to explain something to you, you don't even want to listen. And so one day, when I heard what was going on with him, when he died of a heart attack, which I believe it was cardiac arrest.
Oh dear.
But he had cancer before. He survived cancer years ago. But once he began to gain a little bit of weight and started doing what he does best,
Oh yeah.
I think a few years later when he met up with a young woman, she met him up with in a New York hotel or something like that. He began to have a heart attack, and I believe it was cardiac arrest. And everybody on YouTube is going live, trying to figure out what's going on. Melanie King, shout out to her, was trying to keep us updated, keep us posted. And even I was just watching the streams, trying to see if he's okay or not. And it turns out that he confirmed passed away. And so the whole world reacted. But the one thing that disgusts me was the articles claiming that misogynist Kevin Samuels passed away with this and that. They try to paint him as a bad guy for telling the truth. And I think that's the problem. The world doesn't like the truth. If you keep telling the truth, they gonna hate you for it. They want to stay in this fantasy bubble of this fairy tale. Oh, I can do whatever I want. Can nobody stop me? You know, I don't believe in this, that. Well, if something happens to you, then what? Who are you going to turn to if someone told you so? Like, you have nobody to blame but yourself, because you have all the time to self-reflect on what you did when you were in your early 20s and 30s and stuff, living your life to the fullest, when you made dumb mistakes. But when somebody call you out on it and tells you the truth, don't get mad. Trying to understand the reason why they said what they said. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. That's
life
definitely
is not a game, bro. I'm telling you.
No, it's not. And you know the old saying, life's too short. There's
Fact.
a reason they say it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, let's see. I think we said what can be said there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I know. We went off topic though, but that's what we do, though. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah, I know.
I mean, we do the same thing in my Sunday school. We get on the lesson. We go off topic while talking about Jesus Christ all the time, and which is nothing wrong with that, because I love Jesus. You know, I'm a Christian, so
sure.
But we talk about God all the time, about what's going on in the world, on TV.
Yeah.
We see the TV shows, whatever, though, while we're talking about Sunday school lessons and everything. We go off topic a lot because we're passionate about what we do. And the same thing we're doing on YouTube right now. Just we talk about one thing and then we go off topic, and then we get passionate, we get serious, because we know we're going to be talking some interesting points. So yeah,
that's true. You know, just on that note, I will double back for 1 second. I did catch JDF's funeral, at least parts of it. I couldn't stick around too long for the obvious reasons, but I did notice a lack of Power Rangers there, if you know what I mean. And I can't help but think that she didn't invite him. And, you know, she accused him of cheating, and I'll bet you I know who she accused him of cheating with. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to sling any mud or anything towards anybody. And frankly, I'm pretty sure he didn't. I really don't think he did. He doesn't seem like the type. Not that I really knew the man, but, either way. And I'll tell you this. I think what should have happened, him and Amy should have gotten together years ago.
Oh, man. I mean, right after Power Rangers, can you imagine?
Yeah. And
I mean, the way that girl was crying, in that video, man.
I know, exactly. And, they kept it.
That shit broke me so bad, though. Like, I'm like, man,
it did. It broke me too,
man. Baby up for very close during her days on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, though, man. Like, when I saw that, I was like, do not drop a tear, and I did.
Yeah, I know. And
the pain in her voice, though, and that was enough for me to not want to watch the funeral, because also the way that Jenna spoke about her husband as if he's this incredible person. After all of that you've done, you serve him divorce papers, you fought him in a hotel room, and you just coming off as a hypocrite. Then after she served her husband papers, she goes on Instagram and she typed all, oh, woe is me, it's about me, this and that. Like, you're doing too much. And I see
Yeah.
why Sky Frank is calling you out. I see why she's calling her out.
Yeah, totally. And I'll tell you this, I
It makes
still am
sense now.
and I'm still scratching my head over, what she wrote down before she did her interview, saying that quote unquote slander his good name. Who's
Oh,
slandering his name? Sure, those
yeah.
jerks who made that joke, yeah, but that happened later. Nobody was slandering his
Yeah.
name. We were crying. We were heartbroken. We were making tribute videos. Who's slandering his name? No one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We're slandering her name. Yeah. Well, not me.
She did it to herself, for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did it all to herself.
Yeah, exactly. So, unbelievable.
And you know what? The more people are making videos about the situation with JDF and his ex-wife, the more evidence is going to end up coming out, and the more truths are going to end up coming out. Because Sky Frank is not the one to mess with, because she would tell you exactly what is going on with Tammy and her daughter.
Yeah, she sure
Because
is.
Listen, Sky has been through trauma when she was young. And everybody is trying to make it seem like, oh, my dad is a deadbeat father because he wasn't there for him and stuff. But at the same time, he's an actor that is from Power Rangers, doing Power Ranger TV shows and movies and cons and all of that.
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to spend time with you, he would have taken a break from acting and just focused on being a dad.
Yeah.
The same way, what's that dude name? Keith Ken and Kale. One of them was trying to be put on blast because the daughter is mad that her dad didn't spend time with him on all of that, or because his career in Hollywood was very busy, even though he paid for everything, school, colleges, and all of that.
Yeah.
And she's still being ungrateful.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand how one could feel neglected, but at the same time, when you're the child of a big name actor, I mean, there's really no middle ground. I mean, as much as many have tried, and many have tried, there's just no middle ground for it. I mean, the closest thing that anyone came close to succeeding was Garth Brooks, how he took the time away from his career to be with his family. But even then, he didn't necessarily do both. He chose one over the other is what he did. And many would say he made the right choice. And coming from a family kind of guy, I mean, family's important to me. So, yeah, I can understand that. I mean,
if it was me, I'd do the same thing too, because I'm a family guy myself. I mean, I don't have kids though, but I have nephews and nieces though. But at the same time, if I was an actor, I would have probably taken away from Hollywood and focused on my family alone. Because number one, life is too short. I can't just be in Hollywood all the time, doing my own thing, focus only my own career, because I don't want my kids to think that, I don't love them or anything. I don't care about them, or I neglect them. Like, I'm going to be there for y'all 24/7, take you to school, teach you whatever you want to go. But at the same time, I'm still going to be your father at the end of the day and teach you right from wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
totally.
That's what I would have done if I was an actor in the industry.
Yeah.
Because I don't want your mom or your bitter baby mother think that I'm some deadbeat father and think that she could do better than me by feeding them feminist bull crap. And when they get older, they're going to probably think the worst.
Oh, yeah.
So the last thing you want to do is do that. So,
yeah, that's how it always goes.
Well,
anyway, DHR, I remember I think it was when we first got you on here, you mentioned about how you weren't a fan of Samurai and Super Samurai, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
All right.
I don't like Samurai because here's the thing. When I first watched Samurai in 2011, my initial thought were, okay, this one looks pretty cool, because I thought the first episode was about Mike.
Mhm.
But I didn't find out until almost towards the end of 2011 when they decided to show the origins of the Samurai Rangers. You could have put that the first 2 episodes before the third episode when it premiered in 2011.
Yeah, I never
And that's
understood why
where
they
I
did
began to
that.
feel like that Super Samurai, it was worse. And you see my video talking about um, the past Ranger seasons in retrospective. I mentioned how I hated this season because it was a copy paste of Shinkenger gone wrong.
Oh yeah.
The acting was atrocious. The story made no sense. And the Blue Rangers actor, he sucks as an actor.
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest, that's for sure.
But I know it's not his fault, but I blame the
No.
writers though.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
then the amount of they brought back the one thing I hate about the past Power Rangers seasons of Samurai is the shaky cam.
oh right, I forgot
I
about
hate
that.
it so much. It doesn't look good while you're fighting the Moogers in the second season, and it didn't look right, using original footage.
No.
I'm like, God,
No.
that's terrible. Samurai suck. I'm sorry, I still hate it to this day. I think
Again, I don't know what to say about Samurai and Super Samurai. I heard a few times that it was a bad series, but I'm gonna have to check it out because I haven't seen it.
Well, to me, I've seen it, and I'll admit I kind of liked it, but it's not on my top 10 list. I barely put it at my top. Oh, I don't know, 80 list, and I would put it at 80 really, because it had some good points that I did like. I mean, I did like some of the fight choreography there, and I do love the villain Serrator. He was awesome, just because.
yeah, I like him too.
I love his design, and boy, he made Goldar look like a joke. And I'm talking the first season Goldar. So
at least he did. I mean, at least he did somewhat than Goldar.
Yeah,
at least he didn't run away.
That's true. That's true. Goldar always ran away when his back was against the wall. That's true.
Right.
And but Serrator, he was tough. In fact, as I recall, I did recently rewatch the episode when they finally destroyed him. It took literally everything they had to destroy him. I mean, the big boss was almost,
and the Rangers too.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing they didn't do was demorph so they could put more power into their Zords, unlike the final boss.
Yeah,
Xandrid, yeah. And funny thing, Xandrid makes an appearance in Super Sentai in the Megazord battle. Yeah.
Hold on, y'all. I'll be right.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, that's I don't know. Did you ever catch that, Jonathan? That Master Xandrid? Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't see that season, did you? Much?
No, I haven't seen. Again, I haven't seen Samurai
I'm
yet.
Sorry, I forgot. Well, if you do, or if you haven't gotten around to it yet, just look up the name Master Xandrid. You'll see his image, and then look up the Megazord War from Super Sentai. You'll see him there. He's very recognizable. So yeah.
Speaking of Xandrid, I did not like him either, though. I thought he was the weakest villain.
Yeah. I mean, his look was pretty cool, but that's all he had going for him.
It's just bad though. But I mean, even his Japanese counterpart, drunk alcohol in every episode. Really? Xandrid drunk medicine. His Japanese counterpart was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So that wasn't medicine. Like that was literally liquor.
Yeah. If anything, they should have made Serrator the boss. He was definitely boss material.
Definitely. Like, can you imagine the Megazord battles in original footage instead of Sentai footage from Super Samurai? Imagine that.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh man. Sheesh. Oh boy, yeah. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Samurai.
But I think now that Hasbro is in charge, I think that Power Rangers is starting to go better and better.
Agreed.
It does look that way. And I'll tell you this, I can't help but think, and I'm sure just about everybody's come to this conclusion, since we haven't seen Lord Zed make an appearance since that one later episode. What was that one called again? The Valentine's Day one kind of thing. What was it? Shoot.
No, he made
Anyway.
his
Yeah,
first
I
appearance
forgot
in
what the
season 1 of
episode is
Dino
called
Fury.
as well.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he made his first appearances in Dino Fury season 1 when it was a Halloween episode when Ollie fear of losing his friends, and that was one of the coolest fights to see him fight the Rangers physically. And
yeah, that
season
was old
2,
folks.
he
Yeah,
he was involved a lot fighting the Rangers.
I know.
But
That
I
was
think
great too.
Yeah, but I think in season 3, I think he's going to be more involved since he's going to be the main villain and in Cosmic Fury. And I know these past couple of days I've been making videos on the drama surrounding Cosmic Fury, the suits, and
Oh yeah,
Amelia being
yeah.
the Red Ranger. And boy, oh boy, those people on Twitter have gotten worse.
That's for sure.
And personally, I think the reveal brought out the worst out of everybody because
Yeah.
they basically got mad at the fact that Amelia is the Red Ranger full time
Oh,
in 30
brother.
years. And they talk about some hashtag not my Red Ranger, hashtag Power Rangers. Like when I saw that and I made a video about it.
Sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, them people on Twitter created these hashtag not my Red Ranger. They're referencing Zato passing his powers to Amelia, become the first official leader of the team. And Zato
Yeah, that one I
the Zeno
noticed
Ranger.
for the upcoming Cosmic Fury.
Yeah. And I felt these people are just too busy judging something that hasn't even come out yet. We got the whole fall of that show to come out. And I've said this all the time. Watch it for yourselves, then you can judge it and see how you feel about it. But don't judge it before the show comes out.
I agree,
and
man.
Bothers me about,
yeah.
And the show, and the thing that bothers me most about these toxic fans is that they seem to not care. They say one thing and then they agree with them.
I know. I've seen that.
Calls them out. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, I hear you, man. In fact, I know you've seen a couple of my comments. I mean, the only thing I mentioned was, to many's that there was one female Red Ranger, but she was very brief. So that's why a lot of people are saying that this one's going to be the first full-time female Red Ranger, which I think is something to be proud of, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I'm not a fan of the fake foam abs, but I'm not gonna make such a big deal about it. I mean,
Sky Stub just mentioned that. Are we forgetting that we had a female Red Ranger who was the sister of the other Red Ranger? Yes, that one I am familiar.
Oh, Laura from Super Samurai. Yeah, Super Samurai.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's the one.
it. That was from Samurai.
But the only thing I don't like about it is that she didn't really do anything.
No,
she
didn't.
It's the same thing happened to Shinken show where her appearances were like limited, but she didn't really do anything. And so did the White Ranger from the Alien Rangers, though. Even though I don't like her, she was the leader. I didn't really understand it though, because they're like fish out of water.
Yeah, it did.
But
it did. Yeah.
I think the true leader was Jenny Scott. Since she's the Pink Ranger, she led the team. Even though West joined and he became one of the best Red Rangers of all time. But I think Jen pretty much led the team the most since she was the leader. And if Jenny can do it, so could Amelia. And I personally believe in Hernandino that she's gonna bring in that fire, bring in that to the table as the leader of the Power Rangers. And I can only imagine them fighting Lord Zen in space while in Dino Fury mode, losing their Dino Fury powers for good, and then they could just somehow get their powers upgraded. Amelia becoming Red Ranger. Somehow, when we see the show when it comes out, they get new powers, new Zords without any filler. And mind you, Cosmic Fury is not going to have any filler. Thank you, Jesus, for that.
Mm.
It'll be the first time in a long time the Power Rangers has gotten serious. With every episode has to be important. So I'm glad they're doing that. With Donald Fury, they did some episodes that felt important, but most of it was just filler, done right for the most part. Some of it, but with Cosmic Fury, it's all seriousness, all serious, no filler. It's going to be high stakes, big moments that feel important, and it needs to be. For a Netflix show that is based on Power Rangers, you need to do that. You're free from Saban's tactics. You can do whatever you want with Power Rangers now.
Yeah.
So that means that they're free to get very creative when it comes to the writing. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We got a bit of a one here from Kamen Rider. Take it back. Do you guys like Samuel Benta? I never thought much about him, really.
Me too.
No comment.
Yeah. Overdrive was definitely not my favorite, but then again, I kind of stayed clear for a while, so that's probably why. So I got nothing for you there, man. Sorry, but yeah. But let's see. And I got a feeling that Lord Zed is going to be maybe the spur that kicks off the 30th anniversary episode. I mean, they haven't really said much, and granted, I've been trying to avoid any spoiler alerts for me, but I got a feeling, that that's going to kick that off in a way. Because what better way to start it off that they need help from the original Rangers?
Imagine that though.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the fan
like
club video. Yeah. I've seen the fan club's video on what if the Once or Always video pretty much left a cliffhanger, and Amelia from space is calling Billy to ask him for help to face Lord Zed. And Billy knows who Lord Zed is.
Of course.
And can you imagine him and the Cosmic Fury Rangers fighting Lord Zed to end him once and for all, along with the new original villain? That would have been the best moment in Power Rangers history. Go out and venture style.
Oh, totally. That would be great.
That would be awesome.
I would love to see that.
Especially if they could get, more of the original Rangers in on it too. Definitely.
Oh yeah. And now you think about it, most of the Rangers after staying in shape, so now it's time to do it. Power Rangers Union now, so they can just come back and be on TV, do what you want to do. If the script is good, they'll come back.
I agree.
Please, for the love of God, you got to get Amy Jo Johnson back so you can shut these people up.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that bothers me too about the Mighty Morphin fandom. They cry about how JDF is not there. I'm not watching. AJ is not there. I'm not watching. Amy Jo Johnson is not there. I'm like, what? First of all, Kat, Rocky, Am, and Aisha were there in all Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They are a part of Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, they are.
30 years.
I agree.
Not just Austin, not just JDF, and not just Amy Jo Johnson.
Nope.
I mean, I try to tell these people time and time again. And yet, I go on Facebook, I see nothing but cry emojis because their favorite heroes are not on. I'm not in it. Like, y'all gotta grow up, bro.
I know. I even made a video on that
forever.
Yeah, I even made a video talking about, Austin, he's going through some problems right now with the lawsuit. I'm sure that's what's holding him back. And Amy, she really made a career for herself, and she's kind of moved on. So let's give the girl some slack, for crying out loud. I mean, she's got a right to say no.
I do want her to see. Even I do want to see her come back. I do agree. But and of course, we need to also give her some space because of what happened after she made a tribute to Jason David Frank.
There you go.
Yeah, totally. And that might be one of the other reasons why she's definitely not coming back for this one. I mean, I don't know if she was going to begin with. I kind of doubt that. But if she was considering it, after what happened, probably not now.
Exactly.
But yeah, and as for Jason, the man made it clear he was going to he was retiring from it. Come on, let him have let him have some time away from that. I mean, he could have changed his mind later on, but then that happened, and so that's a no-brainer there. So
Yeah, man, because you don't know what life goes, what happens in life though when
no.
someone is going through something. And when I first made that video last year, I thought it was Cap. I was like, "There's no way he's going to retire at the Power Rangers because as the Green Ranger." But I know why he did it because he wanted to focus strictly on Legend of the White Dragon.
Yeah.
Which I'm
As I was
still
on Facebook,
wondering, when is it coming out?
It should be
I heard that
listed.
it's supposed to be
Yeah.
an announcement like around next month or something. No,
Yeah, I think
actually,
I
it
heard
was
that
on the
too.
27th, I believe, of this month. It's going to be an announcement.
Yeah, I did hear something about that. But what gets me though is there were actually people who were actually asking, is it going to continue now that he died? I mean, oh my God. Seriously? This was neither the time nor the place.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, they made it very clear beforehand, before this tragedy happened. He said it himself that they got it all wrapped up. So why are you asking?
Right.
Ugh.
And then like, really think that the Green Ranger has to be in everything because he's legendary. I get it. Tommy is the most popular Green Ranger of all time.
He is, yeah.
But not every franchise has to revolve around Tommy.
No, of course
You can't
not.
just beat the whole franchise.
No.
You got other Rangers to think about. But of
February
course, you
is.
can't tell these people nothing.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. My bro said February is the next month that movie will come out. Really?
Oh, that's
Ooh.
cool.
Okay,
That's
then
good.
I'm
out.
looking forward to it.
Me
I'll
too.
definitely be keeping my eyes open. Definitely. And
Yeah, because Noah Bat and the Sun, they made some good quality stuff.
they
Like
do.
the Batman video.
Oh
When
yeah.
the Joker was in jail, I like that. They even made Power Rangers Legacy
I
War.
enjoy Batman City of Scars.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Bat and the Sun has done some good job on quality and stuff. I'm like, man, look, if y'all do that, man, y'all might as well just put some of that qualities and put it on Tubi. That'd be perfect.
Awesome. That would
I
be
watch
awesome.
it every day.
Or probably air it on Netflix.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I don't know about Netflix though because the qualities on YouTube though, but I think
Yeah.
those some of the qualities would be on Tubi.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, Tubi has some of the movies that have similar qualities like Bat and the Sun on YouTube in terms of filming the fight scenes and stuff goes. You know, how low budget stuff is though.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That could be perfect over there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And there is one thing I've always wanted to kind of see in a future Power Rangers thing.
Mm.
And that would be like well, basically I would want to see in future videos it would be a different style of martial arts. I mean, I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say this, but it's always karate and taekwondo, and with all honesty, it's really just taekwondo. That's the one that does all those fancy jump kicks and all that because of its showy nature. Well, and I can see why they've been relying on that because it is a spectacular thing. If you ever saw the movie Best of the Best, they really highlight that point. And I'm talking the first one. Yeah, that's a great film. Philip Reeve and his brother, they're awesome together in that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when they're fighting each other and the announcer says that this is a classic display of Taekwondo because, that's what it is. And it was no secret that that's what they used for Power Rangers all this time. And some karate too. But I would love to see some other styles like Filipino Eskrima, which is my style that my brother taught me. And although ironically, they did show that in 2 episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but all they did was show the same scene.
Which martial arts are you talking about?
Filipino Eskrima. It's
Filipino Eskrima.
It goes by many names. It's called Arnis Eskrima. My style is Combaton. It's more of an American Midwestern style made by a certain master. But you might call it Filipino stick fighting.
Oh, okay.
In fact, you remember the episode Trick or Treat where Tommy's at the competition and you see that one guy with the sticks competing? That's it.
Oh yeah.
And that was used in Green with Evil as a prelude to Jason and Tommy Face-Off. Yep, that's the style I learned. My brother taught me, and believe it or not, that is quite an impressive style. And it's not just sticks; it's actually translates to fists, to knives, and to swords. And believe it or not, Filipinos are legendary for their knife fighting.
Oh yeah, you watch the movies though. I think you would know. Because most martial arts movies they see on TV, it's always fight scenes in the Philippines, and that I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly in Thailand. And most of it I've seen it was on Thailand, but I think in the Philippines it's mostly there because Philippines is a beautiful country.
Oh, it is.
And you might see a lot of that.
Get this. Professor Dreamer said, "Do you think that Michael Bay secretly worked on Power Rangers Operation Overdrive?"
Yes.
Well, imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
And explosions. Oh yeah. Explosions, more explosions, more explosions. Explode.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? That brings to mind what you said earlier, DHR, about giving a show a chance. I mean, no doubt about it. Everyone should just back off and give the show a chance before you criticize. But at the same time, there are some exceptions. I just got to say this because I cannot forget when he was going to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that he announced that he was going to change them to the Teenage Alien Ninja Turtles.
I remember that.
Everybody was screaming bloody murder over that, and rightfully so.
I remember that.
And that's why he changed it back. And yeah, rightfully so. Everybody screamed bloody murder over that because, that's not right.
Yeah. I mean, he knew he didn't want the smoke. You go turn a franchise that was known as Ninja Turtles, not Alien.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the ooze did came from alien artifacts.
Nope.
But that don't mean you can call them alien turtles. Like what?
Nope. That's true.
Bro.
I mean, sure, technically Krang's an alien from another dimension, but big whoop. That doesn't prove anything. They're still mutants. They're mutated. They were from Earth. Oh, here's one Skystub mentioned. Muay Thai. I would love to see that in Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah. RJ from Jungle Fury, his fighting style is Muay Thai.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Fighting stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so there have been other styles used. Okay, that's good. But I would like to see others used, besides just relying on Taekwondo and karate. Muay Thai, that's good. That's good. I'll have to look that up later, definitely. But
I would notice that in Jungle Fury, I think they use all kinds of fighting styles like Tai Chi and Muay Thai. Especially there was an episode when Finn had to use the bat thing, a master of Whoop or Floop, whatever his name is. He was the Black Ranger in Jungle Fury, and there was an episode when Theo he had to learn a technique of using a fan, and the movements he was using, I think they were like from Tai Chi.
I'll have to look that up later. I definitely got to look up.
Yeah, it's there though. Like I think all the kind of styles.
I need to check out the series of Jungle Fury.
Yeah, Jungle Fury is a very underrated season though. That doesn't get talked about a lot because of its martial arts nature.
Yeah,
I'll bet it is. I'll bet that it is underrated, along with Lost Galaxy.
Well, they do barely mention Jungle Fury. I'll admit that. Lost Galaxy wasn't my favorite because it turned me off of the series. But I'll admit, I did look up the team up with the Space Rangers in Lost Galaxy versus the Psycho Rangers.
Yeah, I love that.
That was awesome.
Check this out though. When I first saw the episode in '99, I was hooked. I was going crazy as a kid. Like I never imagined two Power Ranger teams working together. And
that's true.
They did that based on the Sentai movie of Giga Man versus Mega Ranger.
Oh, rock on.
And someone told me that if they would have used the Sentai stock footage from that movie in the episode, it would have been 10 times awesome. It would have been 10 times awesome. Just look up Giga Man versus Mega Ranger. It's there.
Oh, yeah.
You would probably say to yourself, why didn't they use some of the stock footage from the movie into in a two-part episode?
Yeah, I'll definitely.
That would have had an important part before Kendricks got killed in the fight to stop the pink energy wave from taking Cassie's powers.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's right.
However, what I did like about the episode is the way they shot the Megazord original footage, and the way they got the men in the Megazord costumes actually fighting this time for real.
Oh yeah.
Because that did some of it in season 2 of Mighty Morphin. They just didn't look right to me. It just looked kind of funny. But
Yeah.
in season 3, they moved around a little bit while using the Thunder Swords, but it wasn't like physically doing like kicking and punching and stuff. That's kind of what I don't like about season 3 a little bit though. But it's based in Lost Galaxy did a good job of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting back to your comment about certain fight scenes that need to be brought back in Power Rangers, if you look at the unaired pilot episode of Mighty Morphin season 1, it was violent.
Yeah.
They gave blows to the face, and that's what I love to see. I want to see that come back in future Power Rangers seasons and whatever Jonathan Entwistle project he has going on. I hope that they bring back some of that fight scenes elements into the current show. I'm tired of seeing them using the blows to the body all the time because that got boring since '93.
Yeah, it did.
Like, y'all need to change up. Forget about what the parents think because it's a kids show. Kids know the difference between blood and non-blood.
Yeah, and that's the truth. I mean, I remember when supposedly parents were complaining about the series being too violent, and I'm like, oh my God. We were not throwing punches at everybody just because we watched Power Rangers, and that's the truth.
Right.
I mean, I don't.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I even found some kind of a interview with some so-called psychologist saying that 88% kids have gotten more violent around the country because of this series. Baloney. That is a bunch of baloney. I don't know where she got her degree from. Probably from the back of a matchbook, to quote Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. Because, I mean, oh my God. I want to know who she talked to because, where I lived, granted, I didn't, the internet wasn't exactly available to me yet. And it's not like I talked to people around the world at that time. But, we never got into stuff like that. I mean, if we got into a fist fight, it was because somebody acted up or whatever. It was not because, oh, Power Rangers made me do it. It taught me to, be violent. As I recall, they made it very clear in the series, and especially their public service announcement videos, that there's more than one way to settle a dispute than to throw punches.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason they throw those punches towards putties in that is because they're attacking the Earth.
Right.
Big difference.
And you know what? Even though the parents and the soccer moms back then didn't understand about Power Rangers, the Power Rangers themselves put out every single message video about don't do this and that in school. And there was one video when Debbie Yost and Angel Johnson were talking about talking about the weapons and stuff, how they're dangerous to society and why you shouldn't play with them.
Exactly.
And I think that's what soccer moms and the people in the SJWs back then were not paying attention and not understanding the difference between fantasy and reality.
Oh, of
them
course
fighting putties and TV show and stuff.
Yeah,
that is fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
The reality is people using weapons and kill people and stuff.
Yeah,
those are not to be played with.
Yeah, exactly, and that's true. That is one big important episode that really called that out big time. And funny how they completely overlooked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's not forget the other times where they were doing something like that, and they said, I think one was these kids wanted to beat up this one kid because they thought he took their ball, but he didn't. And they said, there's no question about the monsters we fight, So, yeah, I mean, they're monsters, big difference. Right. Oh, man, Professor, you brought up a real bombshell for me on that one.
What did he say?
Oh, he says, Power Rangers Turbo would have been much worse if M. Night Shyamalan directed and produced it.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry?
Jesus, do not let it happen.
Oh, God, I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to quote Robot Chicken. What a twist! What a twist! What a twist! Because he loves his twist endings.
Well, I would say I'm not against M. Night Shyamalan because due to the fact that he made some of the good films, especially The Visit, that one is also a good movie. But then again, there are times that he made bad movies.
Okay, he's had some good ones. I mean, the Sixth Sense, that was a good movie, but you know, the problem was he got into a real rut of twist endings and all that. And who can forget The Last Airbender?
That was ass.
Oh, yeah. You know, that was horrible. I mean, the martial arts choreography was great, but that was so not true to the series.
No,
But
I mean they got the costumes right, but
sure, yeah.
the execution was just not it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but the girl who played Katara, she sucked.
Wow, did she though?
I mean, I'm sorry, but Katara in the series, she was beautiful. This
Yeah.
girl, no. And her acting was very, what's the word I'm looking for here? I mean, it felt
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Unbelievable. It's like she wasn't even trying and all. It was like, what's my line? You know, that's what it felt like to me. I mean, she kept having stupid looks on her face and all that. It's like, what the hell, you know? And I'm sorry, but the name is Aang, not Ung. Sheesh. Some people. But yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, come to yeah. Let's move on from that one. I don't want to
Yeah,
lose my
man.
voice over that. But yeah, and let's see. There was something I was going to mention. I can't remember though. Oh well, it'll come back to me later.
It's all good.
Yeah, let's see. There was another bad season I think in there somewhere.
How about shoot, I was gonna say, Mystic Force?
That did leave a lot to be desired for me. I mean,
Yeah, same for me.
yeah, because
I never could get into that season.
yeah, I mean, I gave it a shot on the first episode, but when you had that centaur guy defeat their leader so easily, it was like, okay, did they all just lose now, or what? I don't know. I just couldn't get into that. I mean, I saw what they were going for, kind of, but
Mhm.
yeah, it just didn't do anything for me.
They want to
Unfortunately,
be a Harry Potter of Power Rangers, but they
yeah,
failed.
that I think that's it. And I hate Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But,
I
yeah.
used to love Harry Potter when I was young. Like I used to be a fanatic. Like I got the
Well,
VHS.
I
I
enjoy
had
Harry Potter.
game.
I'm in the middle of I'm in the I'm in the middle of finishing the franchise, but I've seen a few episodes of Mystic Force, and I think it's good. But I'm gonna have to check out the whole series because I've been wondering of what is it like for Power Rangers using magic powers.
I was more
I
Lord
mean,
of
it
the
sounds like a
Rings,
good idea.
but yeah.
Oh, I
So,
love the Lord of the Rings as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, man. Mystic Force. Mystic Force. I couldn't get into the season because it focused too much on Nick for one thing. The only thing I like about it was that purple guy. I forgot his name.
Korak?
Yeah, Korak. He was the only thing I like about Mystic Force because of how evil he was, the rivalry he had with Nick, and the fight scenes they had, which is legendary. And towards the finale, well, not the finale, but when he became good, yeah, I mean, he was better off evil than being good, to be honest with you. Like, I like evil Rangers when they were evil, but once they become good, I feel like they just fell off. For me, personally, that's how I feel. You know, same way when Tommy was evil, after he became good, he became legendary in its own right. But I feel like it was done perfect. But how every time they bring in evil Rangers, and then once they become good, they get goofy.
Oh yeah,
Especially the Sixth Ranger in Ju Oger. He was, I think, some kind of ranger that combines that can control a wolf, a rhino, and some other animal he represented. But he was evil to the fullest. But once he became good, he just became one of the worst Six Rangers ever in Sentai.
Oh jeez.
Like, if you look at Kaiju Sentai's review on Older, I think you would understand how much I hate the Sixth Ranger in that show.
Hmm.
He was whining, he was being fearful, and
Boy.
it was terrible. Really, really terrible.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Let's see. I was starting to think of what that was I was going to say, but I can't remember now. Darn it. Guess it's
That's
only
how
one
I be
of
though.
Yeah.
I'm the same way too.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thought I want to run by you, DHR. My friend Professor Dreamer brought up something. He brought up possible suggestions or ideas of what they could try to do, or someone could suggest for future Power Rangers, not episodes, but more like teams. Because they always have a central theme of what they are. One
Yeah.
suggestion he threw out was Vikings. That's a pretty cool thought.
A Viking themed Power Rangers series.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like also a good idea.
I thought of one that I just barely mentioned there. What about a military theme one? And I'm not talking like the Lightspeed Rescue, where clearly they're just working for the government kind of thing. I mean, like their swords or military weapons, that sort of thing.
Didn't Zeo have some of that at one point? Like actually,
Zeo had
like
cannons.
No, yeah, I know they had cannons stuff, but I think there was like moments when it felt like a military thing because of the Oranger footage.
I'm not sure
of them, like how the laboratory. Listen, if you look at Old Ranger, I think Old Ranger is like a military thing. Like it felt like a military thing, in terms of them having multiple Zords inside of laboratories and all of that. The same thing with Zeo of how the power chamber opens and unleashes the Zords, but really it was footage from Old Ranger. But yeah, I mean, to answer your questions, it would have been cool if they actually had like an actual military thing if Hasbro were to create its own thing for Power Rangers, like a military thing. It could just be really serious and just do like try to be like Sentai, but be on a serious tone in terms of Power Rangers, because Power Rangers is a kids show, but you want to try to be more creative in terms of having your original ideas, but just try to stick with it, And so,
yeah, exactly.
The Changeman Sentai, I think Changeman is a military thing because their Zords comes from mythical creatures like mermaid, Pegasus, dragon, griffin, and I'm trying to see what else though. I can't think of the last one, but they got powers from the mystical whatever. But at the same time, the rest of the season is military. If you watch the first episode, you will know them wearing the military uniforms and fighting off against this new villain, and that's how they get their powers from.
I'll have to look that up later.
Trust me, Changeman is a good show.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's better than Flashman, by honest opinion. I like the theme song, but I just didn't like the show overall.
Yeah,
it's just like the Yellow Ranger was the weakest, in my opinion. The only Rangers I like were Blue and I think Blue and Red, I believe. Yeah, Blue and Red I like, but everyone else is still kind of off though.
Yeah. Oh, I just remember what it was I was going to say. It's not really a season or an episode. It's not really a season, but I just got to bring up that annoying issue of, the legendary episode or special, Forever Red. Great special, but the way they destroy Serpentera.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better if we got a Megazord battle.
Yeah. Well, there is one consolation I got to give it, though. At least when he kamikazed it with his motorcycle into it, at least he didn't do that cliche firing a machine gun while screaming, "Ah!" like they always love to do so much. At least he didn't do that, thank God. So, And I still love the fact that Beetleborgs were the villains in this one.
Yeah.
I do love that.
Even though they
But
mention
yeah,
Kimano in them, even though they have no connection with them in the series.
no.
Though
And
there is a Sentai footage that Beetleborgs did team up with Zeo. I just
what's
wish
wrong with
that could have happened.
Oh, that would have been awesome, actually, I think.
It
Yeah, that
sounds
would have
good on
been
paper,
great.
but I think the execution might end up being the total opposite. To be
Well,
honest.
that's true. That's true. Different locations
So,
and all that. Yeah. But
Well, who knows?
yeah. Yeah. And come to think of it, I do remember Power Rangers in Space. There was a lot of Beetleborgs monsters that were used in that one. They weren't the villains in this one. They were just used as like background characters, really.
Really?
yeah.
There are Beetleborgs villains in space?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I made a
Wow.
video talking about that. I'm going to release that soon because this
Then
whole
I could have
year is nothing but
imagined.
Power Rangers mostly for me. So,
Then
but
I
yeah.
could have imagined if also the Beetleborgs team up with the Space Rangers instead of the next mutation team.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of next mutation, I heard that back then they was gonna do a fourth Ninja Turtles movie called The Next Mutation. It's
Oh,
when
I
the
heard.
turtles got older and they're mutating for some odd reason. I don't even know the details of it though, but that's what I heard.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
think I
they got
remember
older and
that.
they're mutating. Um, but they took that element and turned it into, I think, the 8th season or the 9th season of the animated TV show. And the only thing I don't like about it is that in that series, they were basically just mutating for no reason without any explanation.
That's true.
Even
Yeah.
the new character that was inspired by Kino from the second Ninja Turtles movie, he was mutating too.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
that made no sense at all.
Nope.
So
Yeah, and
I
what gets
think,
me
yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do that in the it came out with a movie though. And also I found out too, um Hallmark was gonna do a Ninja Turtles movie, a live action movie in I think sometime around 2000, something like that.
Hmm.
But the difference is that their bandana, it's not gonna be one where it's like flapping around and stuff. They're gonna wear a bandana with it's just like a regular mask instead of just like wearing the ones that is like, you know, hanging out, like how they were
Oh,
in
yeah, yeah.
later projects. So, and I've seen how it's gonna look though. It just looks weird. It looked weird.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Oh boy. And I still think that Michael Bay got his inspiration for the looks of his Ninja Turtles from
Yeah.
Saban's. I swear he did. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two. The way they look and all that, I mean. But it's probably a
I mean, now I
coincidence,
did some
but
research though, man. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, who knows? Well, at least it's more believable than the theory that the Simpsons predict the future.
Oh yeah, the Simpsons, they always predicted anything.
Yeah. Yeah, do you believe that?
I mean, I haven't watched The Simpsons in years though, but I heard some people say that they believe anything they say because of the predictions of
Yeah.
what's going to happen in life. Like how they predicted Kobe Bryant at some point, you know, before his tragic passing.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually predicted something for Power Rangers.
Well,
I
maybe.
just don't know what it is, but I can see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, with the whole concepts of some people thinking the Simpsons predicted the future, like that alleged story that they predicted 9/11 just because of that magazine. I mean, come on, that doesn't prove nothing. It's just a very ugly coincidence. I mean, it was just because the magazine had the Twin Towers and $9 on it. And guess what people are thinking? The Twin Towers in the back looks like the number 11 and the $9 in front. They think 9/11. Yeah.
Oh
And
my god!
yeah. Yeah. And it's stupid. And try this one, man. There was one time that they said that the Simpsons predicted that Lady Gaga would be flying around in the Super Bowl, which she did later. And here's the thing. She played herself in that episode.
Wow.
So do you think she might have thought, hey, I might want to do that for a future date? I mean, they probably told her, okay, you got to act like you're flying. You got to sound like you're acting like you're flying, okay? You know? I mean, really?
Man, whoever the creators of The Simpsons are, man, like I don't know if they should deserve a pat on their back because they're so smart predicting things that can come true, that can become a reality.
I would say there's some serious logic involved. In fact, I'll admit there was some interesting coincidences that happened, like, for instance, Disney buying out Fox. I mean, you got to admit, it's not a huge stretch of the imagination because Disney is the big corporate conglomerate of Hollywood. So it wasn't a huge stretch for them to think of that. And, then there was there was another one in there somewhere. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, I can't think of it. But there was another one that, I'm sorry to say this, they did not predict this. And that was the iWatch. And that was the one where Lisa was seeing her future, where she was going to get married, but didn't. And her boyfriend, talked to his watch to call out for plan B to propose to her. Well, here's the thing with that. The Power Rangers did a communicator watch before the Simpsons episode aired. And back in the 1930s, a comic strip series called Dick Tracy had a radio watch. So
really?
They didn't predict nothing. They just copied from someone else. That's all.
Oh.
And that's the truth.
I never knew this, though, until you told me.
Really? You didn't know that?
No. About Dick Tracy with the radio watch?
Oh, yeah. If you ever seen the movie starring Warren Beatty?
Mm-hmm.
You need to check it out. It's a really good film.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out though. Like now that you're telling me this because now I'm investing in it now.
Yeah, in fact, and there were some attempted TV shows back in the 50s for Dick Tracy, and there was movie shorts again back in the 30s where, cliffhanger shorts, where of course he used his radio watch, and that was the thing, and it's hard to believe that someone actually had that idea back then, but yeah, it's the truth, because the funny thing, and everybody just conveniently overlooks it. The problem is I watch too many old movies, TV shows, and I'm practically a history nut, so I've seen a lot. And but either way, they didn't predict that. They just copied it. That's about it. So
this is the first time I'm hearing about this, though.
Oh, yeah.
And now that you're telling me this, like, okay, now I need to check out so much. And I believe all of that is on Tubi, though.
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be, though.
I could see the movie. The original series, I'm not so sure about because I don't know much about Tubi. I mean, I don't know if they have anything like that, but
Tubi is an app where it's kind of like Netflix or any other streaming services they got. But they got everything on there. They got some horror movies, martial arts movies, Sentai. But they got like Fox 5 News, regular TV stuff on there, and they got some reality shows as well. Just search it up, and it's there. They got everything. So hopefully, but I'm not sure. It might be some on YouTube though, based on what you're telling me.
There could be. I mean, anything older, I wouldn't be so sure about. A lot of these things love to stick with what's going on right now, but that's just me talking.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I'll send you a little link showing a picture of Dick Tracy with his radio watch on Discord there.
All right, I'm gonna check it out once we end the stream.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and then let me see if while I'm at it, let me just see if I can figure out how long ago Dick Tracy started. Oh, 1931. I was on the money.
Jeez, that's a long time.
I know, and this was before digital technology here. So, yeah. I mean, before anyone could dream of something like that. So, yeah, either way, Simpsons didn't predict it. They just copied it because it seemed logical. That's about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, And again, Power Rangers did that before The Simpsons did that episode. I mean, granted they one upped it with teleportation, but still,
Oh yeah,
they did communicate with that communicator. So
yeah, because Billy was the one that they invented it, not
Yep.
the Simpsons.
That's true. I mean, granted, it didn't keep time or anything, or check your pulse or everything that it does now, but that's not the point.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to start somewhere.
true
And
that.
I can't help but notice there's a lot of things that happen with Billy. Speaking of him, you ever notice how in every one of the video games and some of the promo pictures, you get that version of him that was used in the Lost episode, and you don't get the real Billy?
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's funny
Especially the
nobody
movie
talks
one on
about
the
that.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's funny nobody talks about this. I don't know why.
But check this out though.
Yeah,
The if you played the movie game on the Super Nintendo, you would know
I
that
have.
the images were from the auditions from the pilot episode between Billy and Kimberly.
I
But
did see.
Rocky
I
and
did notice.
Aisha's weren't from the pilot episodes. They didn't come in till later season 2.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Mommy's picture was from the Green Redeemer Part 2.
Sure. Yeah.
So they didn't use images from the Rangers currently from season 2. And you're right though, Billy, he always had this weird characterization from different episodes, pilot, regular, current.
Yeah.
He's always been the weird character, especially the first game on Super Nintendo when he punches like E Honda and he
I
runs like
know.
a giant poop or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
who made Billy like this? He looked fat in the overalls.
He does, doesn't he?
Dang,
And his hair, oh my god.
that's a Rick Flat right there, though.
Yeah,
Amazing Rick Flat.
I know. That was I can't help but laugh every time I think about it. And yeah, I did notice that Kimberly, that looked like, well, the pilot episode because her hair was darker in that one.
With the game or the movie?
The game. The movie game, sorry.
Oh yeah, you did though.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Although,
I gotta tell you something too. There was rumors I've seen on the internet that NetherRealm Studios was thinking about making a Power Rangers game, a
really?
Power Rangers fighting game.
Really?
Yeah, because when you think about it, it could just be like Injustice 2 based on the quality.
Yeah.
And I could picture them making a Power Rangers fighting game off that, and it can be based off the Shadow Grid comic, or have it be about like Cosmic Fury or whatever. You know,
awesome.
I mean, I could picture them doing something like that, adding some combos and all of that with the Mighty Morphin Rangers, them summoning the Zoras and using them as their special move or whatever for the special attack, you know, and then they could just do some combos of their own with the weapons. Zach doing the spinning move using the spinning Rudy.
Yeah.
It's like a move, and then he can use his spinning attacks, you know, with the Power X, like how he did in the Sega Genesis game.
Oh yeah.
That's literally the best character in the Sega Genesis version.
Yeah, he is actually. Love that.
Oh yeah, what's your thoughts on Vince McMahon returning to the WWE?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been out of touch with the WWE for a long time. I think it's been about going on 20 years now, I think. So
Dang, really? Well,
yeah. I don't know what happened. I kind of fell out of favor with it for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you what happened though. I'm gonna give you the rundown. So last year, Vince McMahon was caught up in a sex scandal.
Oh yeah.
Because his ways with women employees, female employees in the WWE.
Sure.
And it finally caught up to him because, to me, all started like around the 80s when he was not in the 80s, but around 2006 when he was being inappropriate with female co-workers and
Oh yeah.
wrestlers and all of that. And so once the story came out, he was forced to retire and also pay off the damage from
Mm.
the hush money scandal.
Mm.
So basically, anything he did behind the scenes, that you cannot mention a word to anybody of what happened, because if you do, bad things will happen. That's basically in his mind. Says I'm in charge of the WWE. I get to do whatever I want with you. You can't
Yeah.
do that. You cannot say no to whatever I'm offering you, whether it's money or anything else. Because Vince McMahon is that one dog that you just want to put him in a cage and keep him there. And so that's what happens when the WWE decided to just bring him back, because he's Vince McMahon. I get it, it's his company. And the only reason why they brought him back is because we all thought that he was brought back to potentially sell the company.
Yeah.
And so you got like two other buyers that are going to be doing it, like about like Netflix, Disney, NBC, Comcast, um, or whatever, or whoever is on the front line that wants to buy the WWE.
Um.
So whoever it is, fine, but keep Vince McMahon out of WWE, because the last thing you want to do is have him mess up the product that was getting better last year when Triple H took over.
Oh yeah.
And we were all promised that the WWE was going to end up going back to TV 14, but that did not happen. It's still PG, but I've seen some better improvements over since last year when Triple H took over. But at the same time, it still has its issues in terms of bad matches and referees officiating things terribly. But I can tell you what got better. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' heel character.
Hmm.
Him went from being a John Cena wannabe to being the most baddest wrestler of all as the tribal chief.
Hmm.
So you got to check out Roman Reigns' heel work. It's that good. It's
Yeah, I'll
that
have
good.
to do that. Definitely.
And
Yeah.
you would know just how far he came since he, um, him, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, they came from NXT back in 2012, known as the Shield.
Oh
And
yeah.
as the years went on, his character felt believable. He felt genuine when he went solo for the first time when Seth Rollins destroyed the Shield. He
Wow.
was making like short and sweet promos, and he was being Roman Reigns. You kept some of that heel factor in him. But once 2015 came, he went downhill quick. It started with him winning the 2015 Royal Rumble. Um, then, if you notice his promos back then, when when Vince McMahon tried to turn Roman Reigns into a John Cena 2.0 in terms of cutting out the same bland promos, and it didn't work. 2016 came along, it was worse. 2017 was bad enough because he he had real smoke that night after he quote unquote retired The Undertaker from the WWE.
Mm.
And so that night when he came out after WrestleMania, he had all the smoke in terms of booing and telling him to shut the F up. Um, like those were the crowd doing that. Like that was real heat. There was no editing in the crowd's reaction. That was real heat from people,
Oh, I'll
from them.
bet.
Uh, but then when he announced that he had leukemia and
Oh,
he returned, um, something told me that he did that to get a cheap pop. But I think once, like around a year later, when when he came back um, the following year, announced that he's in remission,
oh
and
dear.
so I think someone said that he's doing that to get a cheap pop because he was getting booed like crazy,
Hmm.
and to that surprise, it didn't work either. And so when 2020 came around, that's when Roman Reigns' heel character was shifting, meaning that he has cut some of the best promos ever, and as a heel, he's a beast as a heel. Um, all because he teamed up with Paul Heyman, and if you know who Paul Heyman is, he's the manager that used to manage Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember him.
And so now that Roman Reigns has teamed up with Paul Heyman, um, I feel like his character grew a lot. It's gotten better throughout 2 years since he turned heel, and now he's the undisputed WWE champion. And
That's
I
all.
believe he surpassed what 8, 9, I don't know. It's been like what 1,000 or something days since he held the undisputed WWE champion for that long.
Wow.
So once I think someone said that he's supposed to lose the title this Saturday at the Royal Rumble. Whether it's one or two, but I think that it's time for a change though. And I
Yeah,
think I love Roman Reigns as a character, but sometimes I think you gotta know when to, pass on the torch to let somebody else become the champion.
that's
I'm not
true.
saying you should though, but I just wanted it happy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the one down of Vince McMahon in the whole hush money scandal situation.
Oh,
Yeah, he ain't changed at all. He's still the old horny creep that he is.
yep. That's McMahon, all right.
And check this out though. The day that he returned to WWE, Stephanie McMahon quit yet again
Ooh.
because of Vince. She's like, you know what I'm saying? She's coming back. I don't want to be in WWE anymore. Like I'm done.
Oh, jeez.
I don't
That's
want to work
a
in the
lot.
same place with him. I don't want to be around him because of the hush money scandal. And the thing is that WWE has a hard time and the bad habits of bringing in people that did wrong instead of hiring people that had good experience, that are great people that wouldn't do that. But you want to bring back a person that is known of being the dog.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And why did Linda McMahon divorce Vince is beyond me. I was surprised both of them are still married after what happened with Vince McMahon. It's just weird.
I don't know. Oh, my friend Professor Dreamer brought up an interesting point. This one's for you, actually. He said, not to mention Mentor G being a terrible mentor and his
Oh
treatment
yes,
of
he
Antonio.
was. He
Yeah.
was garbage.
Yeah,
He was trash.
he didn't give much advice of anything. I mean, I'm sorry, but a mentor is supposed to give great advice and actually teach. He doesn't really do that. That's one of his biggest
Mhm.
problems.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. To like I can picture him talking. I am the worst mentor in Power Rangers. I don't
At this
give you
point,
advice.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude. Sometimes I can't. I can't take his dialogue seriously, even
No.
though it's the same actor who played Grum in SPD.
Hmm.
He couldn't bring in a different flavor in Samurai. Just play a sensei or a G for that matter. That is one of the worst names ever.
Yeah, and I can't help but wonder, why is he called Mentor? I mean, if it's supposed to be samurai, his name he should be called Sensei,
Right.
which
That was really lazy on their part, though. Whoever came up with that crappy
yeah,
top.
and the irony here was that Bulk called that out in a way. I mean, he said, because he wanted his nephew Spike to call him Sensei, which means teacher. And I'm like, okay, if that's true, and it is, why is Mentor being called Mentor instead of Sensei? Sheesh.
Yeah, Samurai was trash. I hate that show and the season itself because I feel like sometimes as a Power Rangers fan, you just hate when they put out bad products in terms of TV shows. When the show gets good in the beginning, but then it turns out to be going downhill. Because a buddy of mine named Video Game Lover 58, he actually brought up a fact. Each time when a Power Rangers season or Hasbro or Neo Saban put out good seasons that go horribly wrong towards the second season, and the midst of the endings goes.
Oh
One
yeah.
minute it's fine in the first episode, and then the next minute, when as the show goes by, it just it sucked real quick.
Yeah. And that brings to mind one thing I forgot to mention about Samurai and Super Samurai, and that's the
Yeah,
fact that Bulk is in there. I mean, I love Bulk and Skull, but he was mainly there for nostalgia purposes. That's
yeah,
about it.
that didn't help.
And he was just basically back to his old goofy self with his goofy nephew Spike, who was even goofier than his dad Skull.
I hated Spike so much. I thought he was the
Yeah.
worst character.
Yeah,
Spike
not to
should be there.
Yeah, not to mention his whole fantasy love interest of the Pink Ranger. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
that was dumb.
you're never gonna get her. That's the truth. I mean, really.
Yeah, I just don't like, either Spike or even the Rangers themselves. And I was watching Lee Carr's video on History of Power Rangers Samurai when the whole team just bullied her and made fun of her because when she worked so hard to create a strong symbol power, which is written in Japanese.
Oh yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Stock footage laziness. The
Totally.
part when everybody was talking about Jaden leaving or whatever, no, not leaving though, but of how I feel sorry that she wasted potential. I'm like, why y'all making? Yeah, this Samurai sucks. That's all I gotta say. Samurai sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it had its good points to me, but not very much. So, but yeah, I know it's getting kind of late. So
Yeah, I know. I'm tired of mud though.
yeah, and I gotta get up at 5:30 in the morning. That's what I do. So
Dang, man. Dang, what you doing at 5 o'clock in the morning? What kind of job you got?
well, believe it or not, I actually work for I actually am kind of a runner for a for a company. I cannot say which because too many people know too much about things. I got
What's
to
up,
keep my
Samurai?
anonymity. But basically, it's for an apartment complex. Believe it or not, I go
Oh,
to
okay.
9 different places. I pick up all kinds of stuff for them. Like um, it could be tools, it could be paperwork, it could be things that the places need. I go all
Yeah.
around town. I'm not kidding. Pays really well too, by the way. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's a good
I
8-hour job.
understand though, man. Do what you gotta do, man. Get
Yeah,
that bag, man.
yeah, and I
Be
like
careful
it.
out there too.
Yeah, and I like it too. It's way better than the last job I had, which
That's cool.
maybe I'll talk one of these days to everybody here, but I'll have to save that for another day. Because
It's all good though, man. But I do appreciate you for inviting me.
yeah, sure, man, no problem. Yeah,
Yeah, man. All right, man. Bees, man. Take care of yourself, bro.
yeah, take care of yourself. Oh, and check out those videos I sent you. You're gonna love them.
Got you.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
way better than the actual one. That's for sure.
oh yeah, I'm definitely checking them out.
Yeah. Well, to
All right, man.
everybody, okay, yeah, man. Okay, to everybody who's watching, I'm glad you were here today, especially you, Professor Dreamer, my bro Skystub, Jordan, Common Writer, and I think there was a couple others I can't remember off the top of my head now. But I'm
Yeah,
also
they were,
like to
I did see them in the comments.
good. Yeah, I'm also like to thank my friend Jonathan, the reviewer, for showing up, and my friend DHR for
Yeah.
joining us. So yeah, it was good. And once again, it was good you were able to make it. I know you're busy. We're all busy, so
Yeah.
it's tough. But yeah, but I'm glad you were able to make it because this
Always,
was
man.
one worth talking about.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And I think we just made history here because I don't think anyone ever did a roundtable discussion on which was the worst or what could have been the worst.
Oh yeah.
So not all together anyway. So, but
I feel you.
yeah. But anyway, we got to go, folks. So once again, thanks everybody for being here, especially Jonathan and DHR. And yep. And I hope to see you all again soon. This is Movie Fan signing off.
Be easy.